Green flag racing, Matt's getting an amazing start. Ultimate Case actually catching speed, napping. Matt getting the jump on his teammate down the inside. Necron losing to Cuckoo on the start. Can he pressure Dino into a mistake? Dino goes too wide and extremely close for P1. And is this going to be Jedlin going down the inside? Oh, there's a bit of contact. Oh, that's a spin. And there's another safety car. Oh my god, this carnage.
Jedlin and Kaze are both in the pits. Fennec, Exus, and Dean are all coming in as well. It'll be very tight if he still wants to make it to the back of this pack, but in the meantime, we do have everyone out of the pit, so we're probably going to get going on this next lap. We are, in fact, restarting now, regardless of that incident.
Okay, he's looking for that undercut. Does he get it? It looks like he might do that side by side and very close together. Cuckoo looking for that inside line on Jedlin ahead. Going into 130R, but they're going to be wanting to go fully defensive into the chicane of Casio Triangle. He's going to end up finishing in P1, crossing the line. Greenlink's going to cross the line. It's going to be Ultimate K's across the line.
Gilish comes across the line to win his second MSR title.
And hello viewers, and welcome to the finale of the MSR GT1 League here at a wet or moist Spa Francorchamps, and as always joined by WMDR Martin.
Konnichiwa minasan.
But yeah, so a very, very interesting qualifying indeed. You can see there's no rain clouds, but the track is wet. So we're going to be seeing some very slow times towards the start of this qualifying session. And some very, very quicker times to the later minutes and seconds.
Yeah, now, this is actually one thing I do prefer about sim racing compared to real life racing, is in real life, nobody would come out right now. They would all just stay in and save the car. But now people are actually going to be coming in for banker laps, and they're just going to set lap after lap after lap. So we're going to see some decent qualifying action tonight.
Yeah, indeed. And with MS2, I think the more drivers that are out on the track, the quicker the track dries. So maybe all the drivers trying to help each other out to get the track as dry as possible. But maybe some slick tyres, we'll see.
Yeah, and of course, this being a sim game, you have pretty much unlimited tires, so it's not like you have to do any sort of tire saving. And strategically let everyone else get the track drier. Everyone can help out and make the track just that little bit less moist, although I'm not sure if that really fits the philosophy of the league. But yeah, here we go. I think the first timed laps are starting now. And Fennec there demonstrating his skills with an immense drift through Sector 1.
Yeah, Rouge definitely not going to be flat out in these cars, I don't think.
Anything's flat out if you're brave enough.
The next car's front a bit bashed up. I don't think he'd have damage. So hopefully that's just some desync.
It's on the front and the back, I think, as well. It's quite a deformed mess. Just have to wait and see if his lap is also a deformed mess. Let's go on board with the man.
Just see how much little throttle he's putting in and how easy it is to just lose the rears.
And the counter steering, very, very important in these conditions as well. Which actually has me wondering, as we see someone rejoining the track there in an unsafe manner.
Oh. Oh. I think they might be ghosted.
Oh, they definitely ghosted.
Who could that be? That is either that Ultimate Case?
Let's take a look. Who's K's teammate again?
I believe. Oh God, it's the. I think Eddie. Is that Eddie?
It was Eddie. And once again, in the background, Fennec doing a crazy drift, so he's definitely getting very acquainted with the limits of this car. But yeah, I was actually going to go and put the camera onto Eddie because I want to see how he does counter steering in this thing with these conditions. Remarkably, he's actually using the wipers despite it not physically raining at the moment.
Oh, I think he must have invalidated his next lap.
He definitely has, but maybe these wipers could be the dry air strategies where you just push the air away from the front of the car, thus decreasing drag and increasing aero efficiency. Mammoth, though, fastest so far.
Oh!
Yeah, we really need to get an onboard shot through a Rouge here. Let's see if I can find anyone. Here's a good angle. Xevious. Probably not quite sending it as hard as the car in front. He absolutely smacks himself into the barrier.
That was a McLaren of someone.
Yeah, just look at the amount of spray flying from the track into the air at the moment. There are some dry parts starting to form, as it seems like we have some of our Japanese cameramen working on this one. Yeah, so far the angles are a bit better than at the last race, but yeah, some angles still leaving a bit to be desired, as yet another car with their wipers on, so it seems that the strategy may be spreading.
I mean, something I do have to quickly mention is this might be the final race, but we do actually have a new driver appearing in P6. Ricky, is it Ricky? I'm gonna go with Ricky. It looks like a Ricky.
Wait, is he P6 on your screen?
For me, he's P6.
Oh boy, here we go again. Alright, I'm gonna need you to show me who's in the lead on your screen real quick.
On my screen, it is Matt's BR46.
Okay, that means Max is once again the guy not showing up on my screen, and I feel like half the time when we have these stupid desync issues, it's Max that's one of the victims of it.
Well, hopefully we won't have too many desync issues apart from that. And I think I'm starting to see a very, very small dry line start to appear. Track from the inside of Ricky's point of view looks completely dry, but from the outside the track does still look quite damp.
Yeah, and despite being halfway through the session, only, well, not even half of the drivers have actually set an official time lap yet, so it seems like the banker lap's not too important for the time being, as Ricky does too much oversteer there.
Damn, he should have been there for the Japanese race. That was some Tokyo drifting right there.
Yeah, that's remarkable that he managed to keep the back end from completely going out there, but decides to retire to the pits anyway. As we're now on board with Trickster, going through what might be a slightly drier Eau Rouge on this occasion. Yeah, the car definitely seems less slidey than we've seen earlier on, and that dry line is widening. Matt's currently fastest in the whole session, about 2.5 tenths ahead of his teammate who goes back to the pits.
Yeah, the gaps between a lot of the drivers are starting to get closer. Originally, the top 10 were 8 seconds away from each other, now 3 seconds. So a lot of people maybe seeing that dry line starting to set faster lap times, and I think Mats might have realised that the track might be dry enough for wets. Still see that massive cloud of smoke.
It's dry enough for wets?
Well, I mean, that dry line, it's there, it's obvious. But I mean, if you were to go ever so slightly offline, that would just absolutely ruin your lap.
But don't you mean dry enough for slicks?
That's a really good point. I didn't hear myself say that. Now you pointed it out, I have. Oh God. Yeah, dry enough. Sorry, yeah, dry enough for slicks.
You know, Nismo, I've got this new desire to see you as someone's race engineer one day and accidentally make that kind of mistake. That would be something very befitting of Ferrari.
I would be the perfect F1 Jeff.
You ask for slicks and then they just give you full wet tires.
Yeah,
the Mammoth now currently in P3, absolutely smacks into the curb of Eau Rouge, but makes it up the hill quite safely indeed. Still some spray coming off the car, but here is where it really starts to get wider. That dry line on the Kimmel Straight, I think this is probably one of the driest sections of the track at the moment, as we'll go on board and just look at the reflections there. Yeah, it's definitely looking like slicks are the way to go at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, going through that right hand of it looked like it was almost completely dry, but then as soon as you go into those next part, you can just see, I mean, there's a cloud of mist in front, so clearly, but whether not drying up as much through these corners.
Yeah, it's still a bit more shiny here, but you got to take into account as well, cars on the outside lines and corners are tending to be on the wetter parts of the track, as the dry line will almost always be on the inside.
Was that a commentator's curse?
Hold on, what were your exact words again?
Oh no, I was talking about your words.
Oh wait, what were my exact words again?
You say as someone goes wide off the dry line.
Oh yeah, I was talking about someone else going wide and then he went wide. I would count that as a curse, yeah. It's Mammoth though, still keeping, well, I say still, keeping it on the road for now, but probably not going to be setting a very good lap. So let's go on board with Matt, who is about to start another time lap, currently going through the old bus stop corner, which no longer exists.
Oh, that's another one.
That's some quick curses in succession there, as his teammate potentially on a lap. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah. Definitely out on track though, and still about half of the grid has not set a time lap. So people leaving it late. There's only 3.5 minutes left in this session. I think they're starting to play with fire a bit too much.
Yeah,
I mean, a lap around here is almost 2.5 minutes. So if you mess up even once or twice, that is the back of the grid for you.
Who was it, by the way, that we commentated to curse first? That Trickster?
I think it was Mammoth, wasn't it?
Ah, yeah, no, Mammoth, yeah, of course. Oh, Mammoth.
now-
That's actually Mammoth's first commentator curse.
Hey, never too late to get your first curse, as Veilside now about to end what might be a time lap. Still quite not sure if he's on an outlap or not, but we'll find out soon enough. Or has he already crossed the line? I'm not quite sure where it is on this layout.
I think it is in the normal place.
Okay, so then he's definitely on a time lap now. Going through Eau Rouge. That's like the only puddle on the entire track, it seems.
Something I've do got to mention is the championship battle for first. Only 7 points separating the likes of Matt and Veilside, the two teammates. However, there is a drop race, and unfortunately, Matt, who is in first place in the championship, would actually be behind in points. And if he wants to win tonight, he has to get a first place. Meanwhile, Veilside only has to secure a sixth place.
I think track evolution has seriously increased now, because we have Ricky, Trouble, and Speed taking the top 3 positions now by quite a margin. Still with about 5 or 6 people not having set any representative lap times, and there's only a minute and a half left in the session. I really sincerely hope that that's not just massive desync and us not being able to see all of their laps, because Keza is one of them, and I don't think he'd typically be the type of driver to play with fire in qualifying.
Yeah, but some drivers may be just thinking, I'll try and work on my setup a bit more before I head out. But yeah, I do completely agree. The likes of Kaiser and some others who haven't set lap times, it is very rare to see them holding their laps until the final moments.
Speaking of final moments, with just a minute left to go, Mammoth puts it on pole, half a second ahead of Cuckoo, but crucially, 6.3 seconds ahead of Mats, who's currently down in P7. So I think it's pretty much one lap left to go for most of the grid at this point, and I think a lot of people haven't quite managed to optimize it so far.
I think it's going to come down to people literally setting a lap at the last second before crossing the line.
And it's getting pretty busy in some parts of the track as well, which could lead to some blockages or even dirty air holding people up, which I'm sure would not be very appreciated. And the thing is, if you try and go around the car, even if they slow down for you, if you go onto the wet line, that could still ruin your lap. As Veilside puts it into a new pole position provisionally, 2:11.5. Exus now in P2, over a second faster than Mammoth. And now Trouble, another second and a half faster than Veilside. This is some amazing stuff. As someone ahead there. Oh yeah, that might be his lap over, but he could still gain because his previous lap is 6 seconds slower than provisional pole. As Keza now puts it P3, still 2 seconds down on Trouble. Add that one to the curse list because Xevious is definitely not improving on that one anymore. Currently on board with Wild Mammoth. He's improving by 3.2 seconds. That's exactly the same amount of time that he needs to equal Trouble's pole time. So this last sector will determine if he gets provisional pole or not. It was literally down to the millisecond equal with Trouble's time.
We head into the final couple corners, the bus stop.
And Mats has improved by a further 1.3 seconds on Trouble. Let's see if he's gained 1.3 himself in that final sector. He crosses the line and is P2. Cuckoo finishing their qualifying as well in provisional P3. Trouble still on track, not anymore. Veilside though still pushing hard.
And Veilside get any closer to Matt. As I said earlier, he's in that danger zone of that P6 area. But can he improve to get closer? And he takes provisional pole!
By quite the margin indeed, about half a second to his teammate. Keza though, with his last lap,
Yeah, Matt's definitely not going to be too happy about that qualifying. God, am I gonna get a bolognese one now? Oh god, oh god. No. And we're watching a two-man race between Exus and I'm kidding. Oh yeah, as boop goes Exus, as yeah, Trouble saying rehosted. So yeah. So once again the red flag comes out. So while we rehost the session, that in the background. There we go. My picture's so glitched. That'll have to do. Oh, I'm sorry I deleted them. Hey, the JD teams appeared. And as always, that cheering on you wouldn't guess. JD. Yeah, hopefully the lobby will be set up shortly and we can get once again back to some racing. My pictures seem to be doing weird things, I'll say that. Yeah, I mean, the GT1s, I mean, they've been absolutely formidable, especially we've seen a bit of them in the rain at Le Mans, and now we're going to see some heavier rain. So, how these cars are going to take it, we will look where that MSR is. I do have some music, but it's so incredibly old that I feel like I'd be embarrassed. I don't know what it is though. That's the thing. It's probably like some like EDM stuff when I was really into EDM because my music taste is absolutely bipolar. One day I'll be listening to some hard rock. The other day I'll be listening to some EDM, funk. Surprisingly, you know, they're all weird phases with me. I don't understand. I mean, right now I'm really into some pop songs and stuff. I mean, I just don't understand. Hold on. Hold that thought. Oh, and I just realized that you were mute.
Well, how long have I been
I have
muted for?
no idea. This is gonna be funny. Look. I don't know why it muted you.
Yeah,
Oh
it's kinda
god, if you've
rude.
been muted for the entirety of qualifying, then oh dear.
On the one hand, it's a little bit saddening to know that no one would hear my wonderful voice, but on the other hand, it does make you seem even more bipolar than you already are. So.
Still looking for the lobby so I can lower the red flag.
In the meantime, we've got another question from Lord Juvenile, graciously answered by the Cheese Man. Thanks for tuning in, Juvenile. Looking forward to have you on the grid next season.
As lobby is now up, so join.
Didn't even get pinged.
And you're probably on Do Not Disturb or something.
I don't think I ever changed that setting. Good thing I don't need to look up the password though, because I am more than familiar with the concept of that word as a local myself. So have you turned on those V10 sounds?
Temporarily I did.
Hey, it's the quality content that the people came here for. Although I'm starting to think they might just prefer what is that word again? ASMR or something? Because we're barely saying anything at the moment. Then there's
Hey,
zero
guys.
action, but we've got 15 viewers.
Today, we got 15 viewers. Oh god, too many. Double digits are scary. Hey guys, today, welcome to MSR ASMR. Today we're gonna be listening to this epic V10 Formula 1 car.
Vroom vroom, everyone. As the actual session is now about to be fired up, but don't be too afraid, because there will first be another formation lap.
It's so hard to keep a straight face doing this.
Oh, true. I should wait. I should do it this way. I should use my this money to hydrate you, so the camera is gonna be on, and then you can't have a straight face on stream.
No. Oh.
I've done it.
I'm just gonna see if I can lower the red flag quickly. There's a oh wait, there's a Formula E mod? I might actually try and check that out later. Thank you for the recommendation.
There should be a mod
Lord
for
Juvenile.
the Formula E mod to change the sound to F1 V10 sounds.
Camera. Give the people. Hopefully my camera. There it is. Jesus Christ! Looking at my face, it is bright outside my window.
And that's a giant bottle too, by the way.
I got apple squash, not apple juice, apple squash.
Well, so you just squashed an apple to get the juice out?
That's how you make apple juice.
Well, how do you make apple squash then?
I don't know. It's probably some artificial stuff.
Are you drinking stuff you don't even know what it is?
You know, like the boxes where it's like really concentrated stuff. Oh, Eddie's done it as well. Oh no. If this continues towards the Nah, okay. I'm starting to see a plan here.
Nismo, I think we need to get a green screen behind you, so whenever there's like a red or a yellow flag, we can tell by the background.
Oh my, that is a really good point. I mean, I might be getting a Twitch payout soon, so we'll see. We'll see what I can afford.
Hey.
But yeah.
Or you
Oh
could just
God,
move
no,
your
Trouble's
entire
done it as
setup.
well. What are you guys doing? Yeah,
No,
man.
but theoretically, what you could do as well, if you want to go for an extra cheap setup, is you just take all your tech, set it all up in a backyard or something, and have your background to just be grass, and then you can use that as your green screen.
I mean, that's quite funny you say that actually, because I do have a I don't know where it's gone, but I did actually have a carpet that is like a grass carpet. Oh, what the?
Well, that didn't last
Oh,
very long.
wait, hold on. I guess. Well, there's only one fit way to explain this. Wait,
Aliens.
I got disconnected as well. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, we got a red flag.
Please stand by, everyone. The
Oh,
race will
God.
be underway soon enough, but we're currently experiencing some technical difficulties, so pay attention to any notifications you may receive as to the new starting time of this event.
Wonder actually if I could yeah, I'm gonna see if I can put the pictures in front of I'd show. Yeah, it would. Hold on.
I also
Yeah,
like how with the current positioning of the webcam, we have a good view of just your ears.
my ears. Oh God, yeah. Oh wait, that's there.
Also, Nisma, have you added tonight's 2 or 3 curses to the count yet?
I haven't added them yet. I haven't had time, unfortunately.
Oh, we had plenty of time. It's been red flag this whole time.
Well, I've been busy.
You've been busy drinking squash juice.
Squash apple juice. But yeah, let's hope that the lobby can get back up. If I make my chair a bit better, and you can see I still have the creepy doll's house there.
They're watching.
What? Oh God, I'm scared of mannequins and dolls and
Wait.
stuff. So it's
No. So we're in a racing context, right? I should not say they are watching. I should say they are checking.
we are looking. We are looking. Oh God, wait, is everything's down?
Everything?
I don't have internet.
Well, hold on. I'm refreshing myself at the moment. Let's.
I mean,
see.
I hope that everyone else can see me.
That's just a you thing, Nismo.
I'm
I
not-
still have all the servers on my end.
Okay, I'm gonna refresh my game. Hopefully, my game isn't completely bugged after that. But oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, indeed.
Oh dearie me.
I wonder how high my chair can go. Actually, I've never actually tested this.
We're about to see a Nismo leg reveal.
A leg reveal. Okay, this is a pretty tall chair, to be honest. This is weird. I've got to look. I've got to go down a bit if I want the camera.
People praying for Nismo's downfall. This is your moment.
Why
Oh,
is that?
Nismo, that one picture is actually wider than the others.
I know. Why is that wider than the? I might have to get rid of it. I'm
Or
having
just
too much.
like squish it.
Hopefully.
Change that aspect ratio. Lobby's up, by the way.
Nismo, are you joining?
Yeah, my AMS glitch. I had to restart.
Okay.
I'm just joining now.
At least we have one reliable streamer.
Keep on forgetting the password. It's a weird one, as always.
This is a word I've known since I was a wee lad.
Read. given for me from abroad. Yippee.
So, we currently have a grand total of, well, I can't count that on the amount of time that's left as the session's now actually loading.
Martin, do you know what I've just... You know how you mentioned a green screen earlier?
Oh, you have a sweater?
It's a... I think this could work. Like that.
It looks a little dark.
It's a very dark green, I will say that.
I don't think that'd work. It's too similar to your clothes.
My clothes are completely black, so that...
Yeah, they're similarly dark. You'd have to go shirtless for that to work. And I'm not sure the world is ready for a shirtless Nismo stream yet.
I don't think I'm ready for a shirtless Nismo screen yet. Don't know about the world. Hopefully we can get the session underway now.
We have all 19 drivers in, so far so good. Famous last words, I know. We've actually lost 3 viewers getting everyone back out on track, so people clearly not enjoying the action here tonight. They're just here for those pictures.
And the ASMR as well.
The AMS ASMR.
The AMS MSR ASMR.
That is quite the tongue twister. As people are currently getting their setups ready and pit strategies as well. They got about 2 minutes to do so before the game says that they are sent packing.
Yeah, we will probably see the wet tire compound being used tonight. So that's gonna come probably around halfway through the race, either lap 15 or maybe later towards lap 20. That could cause a lot of hindrance to some drivers.
Nismo, I think you mean
The moist tire.
I'll allow it. The MSR's stake, Moisty Sim Racing. I'll allow it. But yeah, so I believe...
these are a long 2 minutes, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, to be honest, we'll probably be starting any second now.
Hey. Commentator's
And
blessing right there.
we're gonna see the formation lap lights go out.
Some people already getting out of the way, trying to avoid contact in these early stages.
So it's gonna be Matt's gonna be who took pole. Ultimate K's putting it in P2.
Ooh.
Matt's in P3. But
oh, that is incredibly clumsy. What are they doing? We've already seen a bit of contact and some severe blocking there. As roughly half the grid does seem to be getting formed now, and I think as more people pull away from there, that there will be fewer shenanigans.
the first group of cars are now going past Rouge and Radion. Not to mix up Radion with Rouge or Rouge with Radion.
Yeah, otherwise we're gonna have plenty of that's Radion actually moments.
It's quite funny though, because I don't think I know.
You don't know which one's which?
I remember watching that video ages ago, and I cannot remember for the life of me. So I always say both because I know they're very close to each other.
We're gonna do a pop quiz, Nismo. I don't want you to look it up.
Okay.
Which corner is at the top of the hill?
I'm gonna go with Rouge at the top of the hill. Oh no, is it No,
That's
it's
Radion,
Radion.
actually.
Yeah, it's Radion. Ah,
Gotcha.
Damn it.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, so Rouge is the tiny left-hand kink, and Radion is the one that's actually dangerous.
Yeah. I was thinking it's the left-hander, and then I thought, hang on a second, which left-hander? And I was like, Rouge has more curb. So and then I thought it's got to be the bottom one, but then I'd already said Radion, and I was like, God damn. No, I already said a Rouge for the top one. Like, god damn it.
I was trying to set up that's right on actually, and it worked like a charm. Yeah, Eau Rouge at the bottom of the hill. I guess one way to memorize it is to think about where the name comes from. It means red water in French, and it's because there is a little stream down there. Not a stream like the one you're currently on, but a little stream of water. And it is typically slightly red colored because of all the iron in the ground around there. So that's why it's called red water, Eau Rouge. And typically you'd only find a stream at the bottom of the land. So yeah, you got to follow where the water goes, and that is exactly where you'll find Eau Rouge.
I was gonna say, is there like blood in the water? Another movie, not a movie, song quote.
Well, hopefully there won't be any blood spilled tonight, as we're all here for fun after all, but definitely high stakes tonight. Championship battle between two teammates. Veilside starting in first, the favorite to win this championship as things stand. Matt's in third place. Nismo, why don't you go ahead and explain what the championship winning conditions are for these two?
Yeah, so Veilside having the advantage starting on pole, and he's going to need every advantage he can to take this win in the championship, and of course in the race, because if Veilside gets 5th place, it is certified that he will win the championship. However, if Mats comes first and gets the fastest lap, he will cheat Veilside out of the championship. So if Veilside manages to just stay in 5th or get a 6th place and Mats doesn't get the fastest lap, then Veilside will win the MSR GT1 championship.
So essentially what Mats needs is for Veilside to be Mats for a race and have some incredibly bad luck.
Yeah. I mean, we might see, normally these two are quite nice with each other, the two teammates, funnily enough. But we might see some elbows come out, and we might see some of more harder battling between these two.
As they're now going through the old bus stop chicane, actually shaped like a bus stop, unlike the current one. This is where the name came from.
Yeah, indeed.
Very challenging corner.
As they head now into the starting zone. It's Veilside to lead the way, leading the championship as well. Ultimate K is alongside. When is he going to go? And I think that's green flag racing as they head straight into the first corner. Matt's already potentially trying to lunge it down the inside, but Ultimate K is just covering off. Too wide. Looks like almost 3 wide behind. Everyone making it through T1 nice and calmly, but it's going to be the run through Rouge and Radion, which is going to set you up for the right hand S's.
As everyone's made it through safely so far, quite remarkable, and very well behaved, especially from the top 3 as well. Though I did see Veilside get a bit squirrely out of the exit of turn 1, so that car maybe not the most stable, but he's definitely not pulling away too hard from KZS, so maybe trying to keep it under control for the time being. Matt's not taking any risks either, staying behind Keza. And Exus, pretty good start, still in P4 ahead of Mammoth, Cuckoo, Trouble, and then there's just this whole gaggle of cars. That's going to be some good fighting, I assume.
Like maybe a bit of contact between Ricky and Eddie there. Eddie, you can see on the controller, his arms properly jolting, and he might be able to make a move on binding. They're very, very close between these 3.
Yeah, and just look at how much steering input he has to get there. It's very, very challenging. He's putting maximum lock in, and with these more understeery cars, it's just... I'm sure he's fine-tuned the settings to really suit the track, but ordinarily, this would be an incredibly big challenge to even keep up with the wheel users here.
Yeah, indeed, Eddie doing an absolutely amazing job on a pad. And
currently beats his personal best by a whole minute and 18 seconds.
As he's in the slipstream of binding, he's definitely going to be looking for a move. Puts it down the inside, too wide through this very fast left-hand corner, and just managed to go. But I think that's Ricky. Maybe a bit of contact between them and binding.
Yeah, Ricky's made it through as well, so that's quite remarkable there. Double overtake on binding, not his strongest performance so far, as it looks like Exus may be losing a spot here. Into turn 1. Leaves the space, but just barely, and almost loses it on the exit, so I think Mammoth has a good shot at taking him on the straight.
Yeah, Mammoth all in that slipstream. Remember, a lot of strategy coming out last time we were here, where some drivers on purposely went wide through turn 1 to get the slipstream up, and while Mammoth does have the slipstream going too wide now, up, I forgot the name of the straight, but up the straight. And
the Camel straight is on the outside now, but he doesn't seem to have the straight line speed.
Oh, he's trying to keep it around. He's kept his nose in, and he's almost gonna make that move.
Oh, remarkable stuff. That is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely amazing move there. And oh, Cuckoo also taking advantage of their teammate making the move and trying to make the move themselves on Exus.
Exus not giving up yet. He's got better traction out of that corner and stays ahead of Cuckoo for the time being. But that was almost another double overtake there. So yeah, people are going to have to watch out. If they get one car past them, they may well lose another position very quickly if they don't keep their eyes behind them, as that is Chad in the barriers.
Someone else as well in the background. I think that might be Svi. Did Svi pit? Or
I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's only 30 seconds off the leader, so I don't think he's pitted.
or is Shad touching a bit more grass? Not ideal in any case to do that as a gamer.
Absolutely, as the top 3 still as they were, and pretty remarkable. I mean, Kaze has not really been on the pace of these guys so far this season, but he's keeping up quite well with Veilside at the moment. Veilside not pulling away, Matt's not really catching. Makes you wonder, is Matt's sort of holding back to make sure he doesn't make some sort of crucial mistake, and is Veilside also holding back to ensure that he gets the win as well? I mean, they have everything to lose in this race.
Yeah, exactly. One DNF between them could be either Matt winning the championship or Veilside winning the championship.
Yeah, so it's definitely what I wouldn't give to interview them during this race, but of course they're gonna have to focus if they want to get good results. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some of the guys in here for an interview after the race, because it's definitely fascinating to know what kind of mindset they go into this kind of race with, because it's definitely more stakes than usual, as I think Exus once again under attack from Cuckoo down the Kimmel Straight.
And the Exus hold on to that position the last time they were here. Oh, I don't know how they saved that. What a save by Cuckoo.
And did not fly into anyone on upon rejoining either, so all's well that ends well with that one. But yeah, sick drift. Cost Cuckoo multiple positions though, and I think that might be another one, as we've lost 2 drivers from this race already. Shad being one of them. I'm not sure who the other is.
Jedlin saying his connection went down.
Oh,
That is very, very unfortunate for Jedlin there.
Yeah, hoping Jedlin has a better season next time around. The pace has been good, particularly in qualifying on occasion, so hopefully he can get some better results in next season's car. And it seems like Mats is starting to apply a bit more pressure on Keza now for that second position, but he's gonna have to watch out, or the stewards might try and get him for track limits.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, on this track, it's quite hard to go wide and gain time because, I mean, the grass is slippy and you can just see how close the gravel is. I think there's one place that, well, 2 places you can massively gain time. Those would be through the bus stop chicane and the first corner, where you're not allowed to go wide according to MSR rules. The game allows it, so if anyone catches them, it will be scrutineered.
Scrutineered by the one and only Scrutineer themselves. As we're going through turn 1. Quite a straightforward corner, but not an easy exit by any means, as you mentioned, with track limits as well. But it seems like Cuckoo's got the better exit here, staying in P7 and closing in a bit more on trouble, currently in 6th place, having a pretty good race so far. Last lap a 10th faster than Exus just ahead, and Eddie there controlling his car wonderfully through Eau Rouge and Radion.
saying in the chat, Rouge isn't fun, it seems. Since I'm guessing, well, you can't take it flat like a normal F1 car, so I mean, it's probably quite difficult, especially with how much horsepower is in these cars and the fact they can massively understeer at times.
I'm getting another ad on stream, this time for some sort of cranberry medicine to relieve your urinary tract.
Huh?
Very
I did not
indeed.
approve of that.
Nismo is anti-urinary tract. But Veilside, though, he is actually starting to pull away from these guys now, so this might be why Mads is putting on some more pressure. Wait, no, Mads has gotten by Keza. I missed while I was talking about the ad.
Yeah, Matt's, I think as soon as we flicked to them, Matt had made the overtake.
Oh, shoot, that's a bummer to miss that one. But yeah, Keza staying in the slipstream for now, but at the pace that Veilside's pulling away, I don't think Matt is going to want to stay around Keza any longer. He's going to want to catch his teammate as soon as possible, because catching someone is one thing, overtaking is another. And of course, he wants to finish multiple positions ahead of his teammate, as we've just lost another driver.
Fortunately as well, looking at Cuckoo, they've dropped about 3 positions in 1 lap. And that's a bit of rain coming down.
And seems like there's a bit of a thundercloud in chat as well. Jedlin saying he hopes this entire track gets axed from the F1 calendar.
Blasphemy! If you're talking about the modern day one.
I will admit, this track used to give better races, but that's purely because of the current generation of F1 cars. It's not the actual track's fault. And point 2, if you want a different track in Belgium, you have Zolder. And Zolder sucks balls. So this track is our only option.
Oh no, we've lost Fennec!
Oh yeah, we've lost him yet again. So that is a double loss for Fennec tonight. Massively unfortunate, but there is some side-by-side going on between Exus and I think that's Binding at the moment.
Well, side by side, Binding going a bit wide. I think the track might be greasing up a bit, but both cars...
They both lost the back end there independently, so definitely starting to struggle there. I think that's Binding giving the position back. I don't think that was an illegal overtake, so maybe he's just being a gentleman again.
No, no.
As you say, it's starting to spit down at the moment.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't a an illegal overtake. If his fan, I believe, Andrew, or as we know him, I don't remember the name now. Either way, I think his friend would be massively upset by that.
As we're getting some support in the chat from Fennec, massively appreciated. Zolder is and will always be a horrible track as long as they don't nuke those chicanes from existence. But yeah, can you believe Zolder used to not have all those chicanes? It used to actually be a somewhat decent track. Oh, I don't think I've actually ever driven on that layout, but
I like the chicanes. I'm kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I can understand having one chicane, maybe another chicane-ish corner, but when you just copy-paste chicane over and over, you can't call that a track.
You know what?
That's just inconvenient city planning at that point.
I completely agree with Lord Juvenile, DTM, GT, etc. Completely agree. As Binding cutting the track a bit there, and oh my god, the wetness seems to be massively obscuring Xevious' grip there.
As Xevious leaving the door open, but Binding deciding not to go for a lunge, choosing to save it for the straight, although they're both in Mercs, so he does not have a massive straight line advantage over his opponent in this case. But yeah, no, I'd still say Zolder sucks for DTM and GTs as well, because I cannot count the amount of times that I've driven GT cars on that track and died on the first chicane. I mean, actually, Binding does have quite a straight line advantage, so maybe going for a different aero setup on the car, as I think just ahead, Ricky and Cuckoo fighting hard as well.
That rain is getting heavier and heavier.
And it should be said, really, this is actually a very tricky track setup-wise, because you have long straights, but also long corners. So some people tend to prefer to go for a low downforce setup, some people go for high downforce, and you'll be fast in one of the sectors either way, so. All depends on what you feel you can push the most, and seems like Binding may have gone for lower downforce, but that is going to be costing him massively in Sector 2, which is where we're at right now. Juvenile, I would somewhat agree to that, but it is still one of my least favorite chicanes of all time. As Kunisek now is starting to approach Max for what I believe to be P12, as I don't think any of the drivers left are desynced, so that's at least one positive from this event, where we've already had 3 people suffer an unfortunate early end, as, oh, that's a lot of drifting. They're on the curb from Max.
Must put my tinfoil hat on and ask, what did you do to them, Martin?
What, to the curbs?
No, to the desync players. I find it quite a coincidence. You were moaning about them earlier, and then...
That'll teach him to be desynced. As that was a lot of dirt there from Max, but Kunisek now really trying to look to the inside, look to the outside, is practically sticking to Max's bumper, looking for any place to get a move. I think we could be seeing an overtake here fairly soon, as I think that's a ruined exit from Max.
Still, everyone out though, not pitting for the wet tires. The rain definitely getting heavier and heavier.
I think we've just seen a wonderful overtake around the outside in turn 1. That's a pretty audacious move for a hairpin, must be said.
And it's not going to help him too much with the run into the next corner down the Camel Straight. And the rain here is absolutely heavy. And this is... It almost looks like it should be wet down the Camel, but everywhere it seems a bit lighter.
Yeah, it's... I'm quite surprised that we haven't seen people pitting yet, as Kunisek going backwards on the Camel Straight. Oh, that's a corner could have I've ever seen one. Almost an unsafe rejoin for Svi as well, because he's only just behind. But yeah, I think we're probably going to see some people coming in soon. But of course, you don't want to come in too early, because if you overheat the wets, they won't do well even when the rain does come in full force, as it does seem to be there now. Yes, Fennec, you were desynced at first as well. And I actually do like Monza, because that track uses chicanes somewhat well. Though I will say I would prefer if Monza didn't have Ascari. I don't like Ascari very much.
Ascari is one of the best corners, isn't it?
Well, the old Ascari was. The current Ascari is quite a tricky one to nail, and I've seen more incidents there than I can count.
Yeah, especially with that one of those inside cars. But Jesus Christ, the rain is absolute. I mean, it looks like there's an absolute fog of rain sometimes when through the camera. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see people hit about now.
Are you saying Jesus caused that rain?
I mean, no. But,
Ooh,
you know.
And Keiza's lost a position to Mammoth. So that's Mammoth up into P3. Keiza, now 18.5 seconds off of the lead. He has lost a lot of time in these last 2 laps.
It's wet weather maybe not suiting his McLaren as much as the other cars. Doing a 218, meanwhile the others around him doing a 212, 211s and 210s.
We have our first 2 drivers pitting, if I'm not mistaken, Kunisek and Svi, so they could stand to gain massively if it does really start pouring, because I've seen there's a lot of rain in the air right now, but there's not a whole lot of water coming up from the tires in the form of spray just yet, so I'm not sure how wet the track is, or if the graphics are just lagging behind a bit. But Mats is still about 4.5 seconds off of his teammate. Although, as I say that, it's gone down to 3.5, so maybe Veilside being a bit more careful there. But yeah, this is, he's not really catching his teammate. Veilside seems to be commanding this race quite well so far. Even though he's 4 seconds off his personal best now, so I think the changing time for tires is roundabout now, as more people will be coming in this lap, I'm sure.
Yeah, and Svi and Kunisek now out on the track as well, so they might also be relaying information to their teammates of whether they should pit now or maybe try to go for 1 lap later. Jesus Christ, the rain! I mean, it's if the windscreepers start wiping, then it's time to come in.
I mean, some people turn them on in the dry as well. As Veilside now coming into the pits, his teammate follows him in. Luckily, teammates don't share pit boxes, but ooh, that is Cuckoo not going very quickly through Blanchiment.
Oh,
car
nuts!
ahead.
Oh, nuts! Oh my God! So
corner.
much happening in those small amounts of seconds, and yet this last chicane absolutely full of water. But Ricky,
staying out.
both cars who made mistakes there, deciding to stay out. This could be.
Yeah, and Cuckoo's actually come in there. I think these two are criminally insane for staying out. What could have happened though is maybe the game told them their pit box was occupied and they were scared to come in, because then you could lose extra time and they won't service you. Though I've definitely seen times where it happens. It says it's occupied and you could pit anyway. So
Yeah. So, we can see the top 4 haven't pitted yet, and I do wonder where they're going to come out. Remember, Ricky and Trouble were battling the likes of Cuckoo. Cuckoo being in P4 actually, and these two deciding to stay out as Spee massively drifting through there.
yeah, and I was looking to see if he was gonna have undercut anyone. I mean, I'm sure he's gained some time with that earlier pit stop and that corner cut, but it doesn't seem like he's really jumped anyone.
Oh!
As he's now being overtaken by Kunisek, sending him back to the very tail end of the field. But look at the amount of spray. Those people who are still out there on dries are going to be suffering right now.
And that's going to be another commentator's curse for the book there.
So just going to double check on all the drivers, making sure we're not missing any crucial fights. Looks like Ricky not too far off of Trouble, but I think still a significant amount of drivers haven't pitted yet. And Xevious, I think, has pitted, but these wet tires not working too well for everyone so far, as Eddie now misses the corner too. And that's frankly a little bit of an embarrassing rejoin there for Xevious.
Yeah, unfortunately, Xavier 436, but these absolute wet conditions. Who knows? Veilside, I mean, they've got to be on wet tires, and there's still there's someone else on the wall.
That's Max. He's still on slicks. Barely manages to avoid Matt's there. But yeah, I think Veilside's still the net leader, so we have a good number of people who haven't come in yet, and they are really going to be regretting that decision as they all approach the pit lane now. If they still stay out, I don't think they want to finish.
Yeah, you can see the jumble of cars coming into the pit lane. Veilside coming out from the bus stop. You can see his spray as gains a massive advantage on Ultimate Kaiser.
And Matt has been losing some time to his teammate as well as he goes extra deep into turn 1. He's now 9 seconds off his teammate. That gap has doubled since the rain started. So Matt's struggling in these conditions so far. Though I will say the people who decided to pit late won't have suffered as much as they could have because of some of the people that did pit for wets spinning early on in their wet weather stint.
And does Trouble come out in front? No, he doesn't. And that's Cuckoo making the undercut on Trouble.
So good strategy there from Cuckoo, pitting a little bit earlier than Trouble, and now Trouble in trouble as he sees absolutely nothing anymore with the amount of spray that he's got to deal with, especially considering he's not even turned his lights on. We know you can hear us, Trouble. Turn on those blinkers.
Can you see the light? No, he hasn't turned his blinkers on.
As Eddie...
Hey! He listened. I saw the lights come out.
But Eddie in the pits, down in 16th, I'd have to say that that's either his second stop or he's in for a lot of damage.
Yeah, either one not good, as Fennec saying he told his teammate to put on his lights.
That's remarkable. I think Trouble typically has us on in the background, so that means he's actually turned us off for once.
That means he must be concentrating for once.
Oh.
Okay. But Max really, really concentrating to try and get past Binding. The Mercedes in these wet conditions are not going to be having as much fun as, say, the Porsche or the Nissan.
See, but this is a gripe I have about this game. You see them going through water, and now there's magically spray at the end of the straight here, but earlier the track was soaked too, and there was nothing coming off the tires.
I think that's
I mean, even PC2 had more realistic rain physics than that. As that's the door left open there for Max to have a look.
Oh, and look, they've had too wide now. This is going to be an absolutely remarkable overtake if they manage to do this.
That is Max using every inch of the track he has available, but has to concede the position. I guess he just had to shave off too much speed to make it around the outside like that. So Binding does live to fight another day in P11. Lost quite a few positions since the start, but that car is still in good fighting shape, so he's got more chances to get some overtakes done. As it seems, Trouble has now dropped off the back of Cuckoo, so Cuckoo fairly secure in that 4th position at the moment. Now, remind me of the weather report, Nismo. Is this actually going to dry up at all later, or is it going to stay rainy?
So, yeah, this rain actually came a lot earlier than what was predicted on the forecast. It was only predicted that this rain would arrive.
Oh, hold on. Someone else is arriving in the middle of the corner. That's Ricky. Going extra deep into turn 1, losing positions in the process, and almost hitting both Binding and Xevious. Max now dropping about 3 seconds behind them.
Yeah, but yeah, this rain only predicted to come at the halfway mark around lap 15.
That was a lie.
And, I mean, it's come a lot earlier than expected, and towards the end of the race, it seems as if the rain might clear up, but we'll still have those heavy clouds, so the track will probably be quite wet still, and probably not enough to change tyres, depending on people's degradation.
As it seems like Xevious is struggling quite a bit with that rear end. I've seen him wash out wide on multiple occasions, and still, it's this entire section of track. It's like half of Sector 2 just has no spray whatsoever.
The rain picking. Oh, that's Xevious wide. That's Binding wide.
Yeah, copying the mistake of the guy in front. A very, very common mistake in sim racing. Unfortunately, Binding falling victim to it. It's 2 drivers off the track. Is he going to rejoin safely? Kunishek right behind. Kunishek makes the overtake stick. And P11 now, after dropping down the last place earlier. So he's already had a mighty recovery from this race. And realistically, could still make his way up to P7 if he keeps this up.
I mean, yeah, Svi as well in the background, P13, has come back into this race. So, I mean, with a safety car as well, this could be anyone's race.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not seeing the closest racing at the moment, but it is very entertaining seeing these guys struggle with these absolute horsepower behemoths in these difficult conditions. It is no easy feat to drive these things. Are there any assists available in this class?
No assist at all. So, I mean, people are going to be locking up their tyres in these rain conditions, and the rain tyre especially susceptible to tyre wear. We are running a 2 times tyre wear, and in the rain it's going to be absolutely hard to keep these tyres from wearing.
So do you think we're going to see people coming in for fresh wets at some point?
I mean, with how early the rain came in and how unexpectedly it came in, I wouldn't be surprised. I think maybe the drivers who thought they might last a bit longer out on the slick tyre were trying to just add a bit more life, maybe an extra lap life, that they might be able to go to the end. But a strategy here, very, very uncertain. But yeah, we might see some people pit. We might see people just try to last long on some very, very worn wet tyres.
Speaking of lasting long, we still have Veilside in P1. The gap, it's not too trustworthy around this track, because it just kind of depends on what sector you're in. And it varies by about a second to a second and a half, I'd say. But Matt's still hanging around that 10-second mark, so their pace fairly similar so far. Matt's a bit slower on that previous lap, and Mammoth keeping up as well, but quite far behind. Cuckoo not looking like they'll be able to keep up with the top three, though, and dropping back significantly. And then you've got Keza in P5 now, so Keza's actually overtaken Trouble for 5th place.
Trouble getting the... You get the... yeah, got the undercut on Trouble. So, no Trouble getting the undercut on Ultimate K, and Ultimate K is taking that position. Ultimate K is starting in P2, so he's going to try and climb his way back as Ricky almost climbing his way onto the wet damp grass there.
Yeah, yet again another save from Ricky. It's been a tough session for him so far, but still respectably in the midfield, and despite all the half spins, has kept it out of the wall. So he lives to fight another day for a top 10 finish in his first race here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, his first race, his debut, taking the slot of, I believe, I don't know who he's reserving for. I'll have to check that. Doing really good for his debut.
Absolutely, as Svi struggling with that rear end as well. That does not seem to be the most stable of cars. Keep an eye on Keza and Cuckoo as well, because he's actually catching Cuckoo massively and could well end up threatening Mammoth's P3 if he keeps this up.
Yeah. I mean, Ultimate K's has the pace. He looks like he also has the confidence as well as having the car. So, was Svi getting a massive run on, I believe, Binding up ahead. Pulling to the left-hand side. Svi's going to try it all the way around the outside, or can he get there before the end of the corner? All I know is there's a big amount of spray in front.
Yeah, Binding very well behaved there early on the brakes, not risking anything. Doesn't want to break the car itself, but that means we are going back to the Keza Cuckoo fight, because Keza only about 9 seconds behind Mammoth and about a second a lap faster. So if he gets by Cuckoo soon, could very well still challenge for the podium positions.
Yeah, Ultimate K is having a lot more grip through these corners, it seems. You see Cuckoo...
Cuckoo's driving a pendulum. That's not even a normal car anymore. I mean, Case is able to get the car pointed in the right direction very early, and he has to feather the throttle just to avoid hitting the swinging car of Cuckoo right ahead of him, and it's challenging to overtake like that without having contact.
I mean, I will say, from the looks of it, the Nissan is the slowest car of the class, and Ultimate K is unable to actually keep up with it in a straight line. So I think Ultimate K is going with quite a downforce high setup compared to Cuckoo. Might be running a bit less downforce, thinking that maybe the rain would have come a little later and might have given them a better edge for position earlier in the race.
Yeah, it could explain the handling differences between the two drivers, but going through that Eau Rouge puddle now, up the hill, through Radion, and seems like they both made it quite nicely. Keza in the slipstream now, but not close enough to go for anything. So if he is slipstream heavy, Sector 2 could provide some overtaking opportunities for the guy. Quickly double check on some other people as well. I think they're all fairly well behaved at the moment. There is one group of cars I'm trying to look for that is no, it's not these guys. Hold on. Well, we'll stay on board for now anyway, because we are in Sector 2, which is where Keza will be the strongest.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move going not through this long left-hander, but the S's after them. As head, you can see Ultimate K's trying to get on the power as early as possible. Cuckoo trying to do the same. Cuckoo actually getting a really, really good exit. And Ultimate K is trying a dive down the inside. Cuckoo covering off and closing the door.
I'm not sure how much of an intentional dive that was. It might have just been Keza being caught off guard by how early Cuckoo was braking and he had to dive away to not make contact. But yeah, definitely letting Cuckoo know that he is in fact right behind them. And oh, just again, especially in this corner, it seems like Cuckoo just cannot nail it to save their life with that car.
I mean, that looking from Ultimate K's point of view, I mean, I was especially confused, and so was probably K's when he saw the brake lights appear. As both cars on the edge going through that corner. Does Ultimate K's look for a lunge? He doesn't.
I mean, this is all going to depend on Cuckoo not making any mistakes whatsoever, because Keza's clearly got the pace to pull away, but he's got to get by that car as well, and Cuckoo is defending like their life depends on it, although that is just a very wide car as well, and it is tough to make it around the outside, around these corners if your opponent doesn't make a mistake. As Keza's opponent has, in fact, made a mistake now, but we'll see if he's able to keep that on the straight line. As I think you can add another curse to the counter there on Cuckoo's behalf.
Yeah, we seem to be having a lot of commentator curse in this last one.
Cuckoo's going to have to send it on the brakes if they want to get that position back, but I don't think they've had the best exit out of Radion. Seems like they've got the better straight line speed, but you need that combined with a better exit, and they just do not have that at the moment. It's going to be tough to keep this car close in Sector 2, so that may be the end of their challenge for P4. Unless Keza and Mammoth come to blows later, but that gap is, yeah, despite Keza being stuck in Cuckoo's dirty air, he's still been catching Mammoth. Mammoth not making the most of that clean air he has had for some time now.
Yeah, maybe the tires starting to wear a bit. But Vilside though, the only car doing 22s at the moment. Meanwhile, Matt's 7 seconds behind, almost 8. Setting 20, really low 23s. And the closest person to them is Ultimate K, setting extremely high 23s. Doing a 23.999. So
999, very befitting of a German indeed, as we're currently watching Exus currently in P8, trailing Trickster for 7th place. His last lap time was 3 seconds faster than Trickster, so that either means we're going to see an overtake very soon, or Trickster made a mistake on the previous lap.
yeah, and if he has made a mistake, hopefully it's not one with damage. Is Cuckoo going
following Keza into a mistake there? That's not the first time we've seen that happen on this track.
slowing down there
the
though.
Driver pairing.
Not gaining any time.
Oh. As it says Max and Kunisek are practically inside each other, but they're nowhere near each other on track, so that's mildly infuriating.
That must be some desync on your side, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think it says they're in the correct positions, but it says the gap is practically identical when it's absolutely not. Either way, looks like Cuckoo not quite dropping off of Keza as quickly as we might have expected. So that fight could maybe still be live. Exus going through turn 1 now, getting a little bit closer to Trickster up ahead. Ricky in the background as well, proven to have pretty good pace, but sometimes you have to rein it in to not lose the car and lose more and more time, because we've seen a couple of incidents from Ricky so far in this race. That's always pretty painful when you feel there's more pace in the car, but you just don't want to risk it.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, especially in these wet conditions where you just push that too much. I mean, the grass is already slippy as can be, mixed with a bit of wetness. Yeah, you're not stopping for a good mile, and chances are that mile will end up with you in a wall, and you wouldn't lose all that, and you'd probably lose more of that time that you decided to try and gain.
Absolutely, as it looks like this race could well be calming down a little bit. So field has spread out quite significantly. We could be seeing some lapped car action soon, as it says Xevious was 1 minute and 60 seconds behind the leader. I'm pretty sure that's called 2 minutes. But yeah, lap time around here is about 2:20. I think Eddie might have just been lapped actually, or he's about to be lapped. Yeah, the lap times are slower in the rain, of course. I forgot to take that into account.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, in qualifying towards the end of it, we saw some 2:20s. Now each driver about 5-ish seconds behind their lap time. Eddie properly struggling in these wet conditions.
But looking at his lap times, though, it's he's setting 2:25s, and while it's not the most blistering pace out there, it's solid midfield pace. So if any other back markers ahead of him make some more severe mistakes, he could catch them on pace as well. We're currently on lap 18 for the leaders of 30, including the formation lap. And Eddie demonstrating how much understeer he's got. Could be wearing these tires extra with the aggressive steering inputs, but not like you have too much of a choice on the pad. And that looks like a dry line, or am I seeing things?
I don't know. I think you might be right. There is an ever so slight... In fact, never mind. Wait, what? A lot of the rain seems to have disappeared through some of the sectors. But yeah, you are completely right. I think I see a dry line slowly forming.
Yeah, so some sectors possibly putting some strain on these full wet tires. I mean, as you can see, it is still way too early for slicks either way, but I'm sure the drier the track gets, the more challenging these tires will become to manage. And then we're going to be in a similar situation to earlier, as when you don't want to get onto slicks too early. Not necessarily because you're going to ruin the tires, but you might ruin the car by flying off the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jedlin coming in with his analysis as well, saying soft will be more advantageous. I don't believe we've had any full course yellows yet.
No. We've had 2 red flags, but no.
Before the race even started.
No safety cars or full course yellows at all. Drivers still struggling on those wets. And yeah, I think this rain has let up quite a bit, and we could, in fact, see a 2-stop come into the play, where some drivers might actually try and pit for slicks. Meanwhile, some other drivers might try and stay out on the wet compound tire and try last on the wets.
See, that's a ballsy move though, because this Spa is really one of those tracks where your tires matter a lot, and I say that because there are sectors where you're going to be relying on mechanical grip quite a bit, and a lap around here is long. So once you start losing time, it takes a while to get back to the pits on whatever horrible tire you might be on. So it's going to be an impactful decision. That's why those people that didn't pit earlier lost out so much compared to the people who the people who stayed out, yeah, lost time to the people who pitted earlier. So yeah, that's because of that reason. And if you pit too early here, you might fly into the barrier. But if you decide to not pit at all, you might just end up getting completely cooked tires and have to pit anyway, maybe like 3 or 4 laps from the end to just keep the car alive. Or if you're able to slow down your pace enough, you might keep the tires alive, but who knows how many positions you'll be sacrificing for that.
Getting very, very sideways through a Rouge.
Yeah, pushing that car to get closer to a top 10 position, catching Max by 7/10 on that previous lap.
Also, I meant Radion. Sorry.
Actually.
Hold on, Mats is now really, really close to the leader.
Oh, his championship rival. He's going to be hoping that Vilside, if he does make the
it must have been an incident. That's getting dangerously close to drifting on the grass there. And we're about to see the lap times. That should show, yeah, I think Veilside might have had a half spin there. His last lap about 5 or 6 seconds slower than it should have been. So if he has any more of those incidents, I think Mats will be getting a little bit more optimistic, as he's currently 10 laps away from finishing off this season. And a lot could still happen in those 10 laps, but I'm sure some desperation could be starting to seep in.
Yeah, I mean, Mats is going to be hoping that Veilside has some sort of catastrophic mistake which ends his championship, this race in the wall.
Which is quite the thing to wish for your teammate.
But
I don't think they're quite as heated as, like, let's say a Prost-Senna title fight duo.
oh yeah, of course, and if we were to catch anything like that, I think instant penalisation to the offender.
Yeah, I don't think anyone likes being on the ugly end of the penal stick around here, so try and keep it clean on track, and always remember, this racing is for fun, of course, but the points are a nice bonus. As Mammoth still in P3, losing about 1.5 seconds to Kaiser per lap. Still a gap of roughly 5 seconds left between the two, and 10 laps for them to resolve their dispute of who should finish that podium position.
Now, something I've noticed already is Veilside starting to go offline to try and cool his tyres, and whether that's gonna help him in the long run. From the looks of it, he might not pit then and try to last a bit longer out on these wets.
No. Look at how dry that track is. They still have to do a third of the race. I don't believe for a second that either of these two are staying out on full wets. Well, they're probably going to be staying out for a bit longer, but it is still a long time to go.
I mean, yeah, just as you say that, we had through it extremely as 2 people pitting for what I can guess are going to be wet compound tires. And Veilside, is Veilside in the pits, or was no? Well, yeah, he is in the pits.
So Veilside deciding that the third sector does not scare him, and he is coming in for what is probably slick tires.
Is either brave or foolish.
Or foolishly brave.
Or foolishly brave. No, of course.
That is. Well, okay, the game's definitely glitching for me because it just showed that they took slick tires off his car and put wets on.
I hope
Can
not.
you imagine if he actually did that entire stint in slicks?
God, no, not possible. Not possible. Doing 23s in slick? No.
No, I don't think so either, as we're getting some nice floating action there from Mammoth. A lot of people deciding to copy Veilside with the strategy, and Case has come out ahead of him.
Huh?
So might there be some extra fuel that's gone into that car? Because we've seen some people make the mistake of underfueling the car for the start of the race and then sacrificing pit stop time for it. But games like this don't tend to really give you that advantage for underfueling the cars that much. So
I don't think Ultimate K is pitted there. I think that's Eddie in front.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, no, Eddie is, yeah, sorry, no, K's is about 15 seconds ahead, so that will be Eddie, who is a lapped car in this case. He has pitted as well, so that explains why he's come out so close to these guys, and now Trouble, Ricky, and Kuni, and Binding all coming in at the same time, too. I think Xevious going off track to let everyone through with no incidents there. Not sure why he's let Eddie through. That might have been an accident.
Yeah, he might have, gone off, or yeah, just accidentally made a mistake.
Yeah, people probably pitting for softs. I don't see pitting for hards being worth it when the track is this cool. It's probably not too hot at the moment with all the water still on track. And yeah, people coming in. While the third sector is still quite treacherous, it must be said, there's still a lot of spray out on track, but these are high-speed corners, and if you're confident with the downforce, it might not be as dangerous as it would seem at first, but this is going to be a section where they're going to struggle on slicks for sure.
Yeah, I think the strategy idea might have been to stay out maybe one more lap like Matt and then box now. But I guess we'll see whose strategy works. Remember, Matt's was about a second or close to 2 seconds behind Veilside. So where Matt's is going to come out is going to tell us if it was worth to pit early or whether it was worth to pit it later.
And hold on, is that still Eddie ahead?
That's still Eddie ahead.
Oh, okay, so Eddie's got pretty decent pace. He's not letting Veilside through at the moment. Veilside, though, getting pretty close through the final sector now. I'm sure Matt's pit stop is about to finish. We'll
And
stay
it
on
is...
board with Veilside, though, to see if Eddie lets him through. Mats has left the pits. So, again, it could be a difference in fuel. But it seems like Mats' strategy has paid off, as that has got to be one of the most agonizingly slow first corners I've ever seen for Veilside there. Trying to not hit Eddie through there, and he's come out a good 11 seconds behind his teammate.
Yeah, it feels like... Oh my god! That could be tragic for his race. Just pitting and then having damage.
So that absolutely changes things. I mean, it is still Veilside in a pretty good car, so chances are he'll still be able to salvage P2. He's definitely not winning this race if Mats keeps it on track. But yeah, with that level of damage that he would have gotten from that incident, he's definitely going to have to be careful to not lose an extra 20 to 30 seconds really, because you got Trickster in P5. He's 30 seconds off the leader. So I guess Cuckoo would be the deciding car in this one. Currently 44 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, Cuckoo would be the deciding car unless Matt has the fastest lap. Which we might see later towards the end of this race, or maybe it happened at the start of the race where it was a bit more sunny. But yeah, right now Veilside's championship is very much under threat, and Matt's, as much as he is leading the championship, is come here with a disadvantage and needs to win this race and hope that Veilside makes some more mistakes and drops further down.
Mammoth now looking to play it safe behind Trickster for now, but with that pace differential, I'm sure he'll go for it in Sector 3. Just trying to get as close as possible in the second sector, and he's already going for it.
I mean, is Trickster still on wets?
That could be, because I think Trickster was quite far down the order earlier. Somehow Svi is either still in the pits or he's gone for another pit stop, because that pit thing has been there forever. Down in P13. Mammoth now getting quite close to Keza as well. And let's see what Veilside... Veilside pits!
He's pitting!
Oh, that might have a huge impact on the championship. We'll see how long this pit stop lasts. And where Cuckoo is at the moment. Cuckoo coming through the final sector already. Veilside has only just now stopped his car. Seems to be getting fresh tires again. And is likely to fix damage as well, which who knows how long that could take. But he's already lost P3 to Mammoth. Trickster comes in now as well, so I think that makes Exus the deciding car now. If I'm not mistaken. And Exus is quite far behind Cuckoo, so this may still end up with Veilside just being in the right position to take the title. But it's gonna be close. Exus now coming through the bus stop. In P7 as things stand.
Yeah, so Jadlin, just to inform you, with the drop race, it would actually be Matt on the back end coming into this race. So Matt needs to win, and Veilside needs to come above 6th place. In fact, has to come 6th place if he wants to. I think above 6th place if he wants to win the championship.
So Exus has overtaken Trickster when he pitted. And I think that was a destroyed-looking Svi driving by earlier, so... Yeah, these two teammates not having the best of times at the moment, but Veilside, you said he had to finish P5 to take the title. He is in 5th as things stand after that pit stop, but he's got to keep it out of the wall, or he's gonna lose this championship. As that was Mex, seemingly asking for directions and calling it a day. Ending his race with just 15 people left on the grid now. Not quite sure what happened there. Did you catch that as well, Nismo?
No, I didn't. I think I just missed it.
Yeah, it was facing the wrong way on the start-finish straight, which is quite odd.
Very unfortunate for Max there.
Yeah, so just another rundown for the current order of the grid. We've got Matt doing all he can at the moment to win this title. Actually, we should check who has the fastest lap, because I'm not sure if they're going to be able to set one while the track is still moist. Let's see what the timings say. Best lap for Matt is an 0.76. Keza has a faster lap. Veilside with an 0.69. I think Veilside's currently got the fastest lap, so I don't think he even has to finish 5th, does he? He just needs
so
6th, right?
He needs 6th. But if he drops any lower than 6th, and that will be championship over for him.
Mammoth is pitting again. Has he lost his wing?
He has.
Oh, so
And it's appeared.
it has indeed reappeared as if attached again by a magician. But yeah, Veilside has a little bit of luck on his side, because of course in these treacherous conditions he's unlikely to be the only guy to make a mistake. So even though it seemed like he was on the edge of losing his championship, with those extra errors it seems like his hopes are a little bit higher again. He's in 4th place. 6th being Mammoth, who's already come out of the pit, so that was a fairly short stop. But Mammoth nonetheless is a good 10 seconds behind him, and Trickster in 7th, another 10 seconds behind him. So one big crash could change things, but even 1 or 2 spins and he could still win this championship.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Matt is doing the best he can. I mean, he could try and take that fastest lap away from Veilside just to prevent. As thank you, Lord Juvenile, for following. Do appreciate it.
As Trouble is catching Binding again. And yeah, Max saying that the server has some lag issues, so unfortunate to see you drop out because of lag. It's the one thing that does definitely not happen in real life. That's a major shortcoming of Sims, of course. But yeah, hopefully we get those lag things sorted out soon, and if not, we'll find an alternative to the server as Ricky comes in for another pit stop, and Svi for what must be his 4th or 5th at this point.
I think he's going for a world record on pit stops.
Could well be on his way there. He's staying in the race though, so hats off to him for keeping up the effort.
Yeah, I believe the top 20 still get points, and that's Eddie in the wall. Through Radion. See, I remember that time.
That's not even commentator's curse. That's just cameraman's curse right there. I just switched to him and he instantly crashed.
Is that what we're redesignating it to now?
Well, I didn't say anything, and then he just bins it. So
yeah, no, I don't think that will go in the book of.
Well, you know, you can add another curse, but it's for Svi, because right after I said hats off to him for keeping up the effort, he quits.
Oh, okay, yeah, no,
that's just hurtful.
Oh God,
I feel used. Anyway, it seems like the midfield starting to bunch up a little bit. We've got Trouble getting close to Binding, but Trickster's only 3 seconds up the road from them. And the Nexus currently 5 off of Veilside as well, but I don't think he's catching. Meanwhile, Mats has got a 40-second lead over Keza. So that is some performance, but Keza's lap times are incredibly slow at the moment. He's setting 15s. Did you catch him pitting for slicks, or do you think he's still on wets?
I mean, he's up in pit. I think he's still on. I think he might still be on wet. I mean, he's quite slow compared to some of the drivers behind him, at least about 4 seconds. And we knew that the wet compound tire was about 5 seconds slower. So, I don't know who that is. But that's Trouble going off.
That was Ricky spun round after his pit stop, so that pit stop clearly not helping his cause. And I went to Trouble because I think Xevious just got by Eddie, so that's another overtake. But I went to Trouble because I saw he was behind Binding, and now he's behind Trickster. So some action has happened there. I think Trickster may have lost a position there. His last lap at 2:17, so no longer behind Mammoth, losing lots of time there. Eddie looking to get that place back from Xevious as well. I think, yeah, Xevious getting back because Eddie made a mistake too. That last lap at 2:18.9. So lots of mistakes in these changeable conditions, and as you can see, still a lot of water on this track, with everyone, well, most people at least, on slicks.
I mean, yeah, these heavy clouds blocking out the sun, it's not going to do the track drying up any favours. But still, these drivers are going to drive to the absolute limit, sometimes over from what we've seen.
Absolutely, as Eddie not giving up on 11th place. Glad to see you're enjoying the race, Fanta. It's, again, not the closest wheel-to-wheel action we've ever had, but definitely not the most predictable race either. These conditions are a treat to watch the drivers navigate. As quickly gonna check some cars in the field for battles, because I think there is a pair that's quite close. And it's Trouble, who is approaching Trickster in 8th.
The battle of the T's.
They're still missing TJD in 13th.
TJD, yeah, yes. As
Triple
someone
T
literally in the chat at that moment puts "Let's go, JD." The timing couldn't be more perfect on that side.
Hold on, as soon as he's gone through Redion, I'll switch the camera over to JD. Currently going through Sector 2 quite slowly. Oh, he's letting someone through. Is that Keza? That is indeed Keza going through.
Yeah, Keza, I think still on those wet tires, I would guess.
I mean, he's going slower than Exus, Veilside, and Cuckoo all behind. They are catching him at a fair rate of knots, but there's 5 laps left in this race. I think Cuckoo may be the only one with a realistic chance to catch him.
Yeah, well, 3 if you count it from the leader. Matt's right now on lap 27.
Oh, yeah, so I forgot that people are a couple of laps down at this stage. We've got, I think, P10 might be the next one to be lapped, but everyone down there has definitely been lapped at least once. As we're now on board with Trouble, having another look at Trickster, but can't do much in Sector 2.
Mercedes versus Porsche. The Porsche definitely quicker through the corners, but Trouble with the straight line speed in his beast of a Mercedes.
Although, looking at Kaze's times, those don't look to be the times of a man languishing on old, worn-out, wet tires. I think he might just have been slow on those laps.
Yeah, I do agree. I just, had a look at that and thought, yeah, hang on. 210 on worn wets? No, surely not. So maybe he has pitted just under our nose.
Yeah, it's always a little chaotic when everyone goes in the span of about 2 laps time, but yeah, start finish still looking a little bit wet, but not too difficult to drive, and I'd have to assume. So going into turn 1, who gets the better exit? Trouble taking a lot of curb, and that's track extension from Trickster, but it's not helping him one bit.
I think that's Trouble going to be making the move past Trickster, even
Trickster
before Rouge and Radion.
Yeah, I was going to say Trickster not fancying side-by-side moment in Eau Rouge tonight.
I mean, looking at the acceleration out of that corner there, has Trickster pitted for slicks?
I think so. I mean, I don't think he'd be able to stay that close to Trouble if he was still on wets, because the track really is quite dry at this point.
Yeah,
and Mats has just had a horrible lap. His last was a 2:16. Car looks fine, so might have just been a spin, but he's playing with fire here if he wants to keep his chances at winning the title at maximum capacity. As I think that might be Xevious. No, that is
that's a Nissan of a Kunisek. Yeah, that's a very interesting front end. Clearly some weight reduction happening on the Nissan. In fact, I think I can see the feet of the driver.
Hold on, gotta go back to Kunisek there. Let's see them some feet.
No, I can't. I thought I might. I thought I might have seen the feet, but
I mean, you can see his hands, and monkeys use their feet as hands, so close enough. Not that Kunisek's a monkey. He's definitely a human, in case anyone had doubts. But currently in P10. Respectable position, but lots of DNFs tonight. We've lost about 5 drivers. Ricky, on his debut, down in 14th place.
Yeah, I had
a fairly good start, but struggling in these conditions. Hopefully not falling victim to the pit stop glitch, as we've just lost another driver.
No!
Oh, that was Kaysa.
No! Even
That puts
worse, a top contender.
Yeah, that puts Veilside back into 3, and very likely now to win the title.
And Cuckoo up into P2.
Yeah, so just 2 laps left. I think at this point, for a lot of people, it's just about bringing it home. Except for maybe Trickster, if they push hard enough. But Trouble is pulling away by 2 seconds a lap, so it doesn't seem like the most likely overtake. And the gaps are well and truly grand at this point.
Yeah, it looks
We're
like...
seeing some quantum physics happening in the pit lane.
Oh my god, that looks like was that Svi's old car?
I have no way to switch to any car in the pit, so I'm not sure who that would have been.
I mean, it looks like a Cobra Porsche. So I think that is, in fact, Svi's car glitched out in the pit lane.
Well, the strange thing is, well, is when you go to the replay after the race is finished, you're likely going to find him just chilling 5 miles up in the sky. Because that's what these games do when you retire from an online race. And you load the replay, the cars just get teleported into the air. And then if you use the drone camera and you look far down, you zoom in and you get the resolution right, you can actually see the track down there.
The definition of sent to the heavens.
Absolutely.
Not the shadow realm anymore.
That puts the alien in Aliens.
Oh. Fortunately, losing the alien of Ultimate K's. Yeah, Matt's though still in P1, hoping that Veilside will make any sort of mistake to drop him down at least 3 positions. Leading this race by about 35 seconds to the closest car to them. Just absolutely incredible.
And I think Veilside's going to be happy that the finale was a spot despite his crash, because, I mean, just look at those gaps. It is currently, from P1 to P7, it is almost 2 minutes. I don't think we've had that big a gap on most of the tracks so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, these conditions have definitely spread the field wide quite a bit, and I mean, it's quite hard to see some overtakes as well due to all the spray and a lot of people making mistakes.
But I definitely think as well, if he had that crash at any of the other tracks earlier in the season, I feel like it would have been a lot more costly, because the whole group would have been quite a bit closer.
Yeah. Fortunately, though, able to, wow, hold the mistakes till now.
As Mats goes through Eau Rouge and Radion for the final time tonight. It is lap 30 of this 30-lap race. He's about to lap someone. Let's find out who. That would be Ricky for probably his 3rd time this race. But nevertheless, Ricky bringing it home on his first MSR race. Showing some promise as well with that pretty decent, especially qualifying pace, must be said. And perseverance as well to bring it home despite not having the best of times during the race and letting Mats through no problem as well. So very well aware of the blue flag rules, which you love to see. Mats, though, in Sector 2 now, 40 seconds ahead of anyone else in the competition. That anyone else being Cuckoo right now, with Veilside quite a way behind as well. Though, hold on. Mammoth and Exus are suddenly in a massive battle.
Ooh.
That's, I think Exus has had a colossal mistake there. His last lap at 2:16 and 8, and that's left him just ahead of Mammoth. So this is a last lap showdown between these two. This is going to be good.
Matt's though coming through the final, actually is he? I don't know where Matt's is, but I think he's going through the final couple corners. Let's hold on with these guys. They go too wide. Wild Mammoth on the outside. Can he make the move stick like he did all those laps ago? And he has.
He's definitely not forgotten how to drive there. Clean overtake for P4. Exus is going to be kicking himself for that mistake, but Matt's pretty much faultless this race. Brings it home for another win this season. It's definitely not his first. And he's done everything he can do to try and win the title this season, but it all depends on if Veilside makes it to the line before Trouble does. And as things stand, unless he decides to stop his car for a full minute and have a cup of tea and some tarts, I think he is doing everything he needs to do to win the title himself as well. Cuckoo, though, also coming through the final few corners now to take a magnificent podium around what's been a very, very difficult race.
Yeah.
Hats off to Cuckoo for that one. Lots of defending there as per usual. And Nismo, I'll let you finish off with Veilside crossing the line.
Yeah, it's going to be Veilside across the line to win the MSR GT1 championship and secure what I believe is his first MSR title.
He's already doing celebratory donuts, so definitely chuffed with that result. It's been a very strong result for them both as teammates. I'm not sure when they wrapped up the title, but it was definitely not in this race, that's for sure. So yeah, it's been quite the ride for them both. Friendly rivalry, must be said. But some cars are yet to finish. Exus now crossing the line, a couple seconds behind Mammoth. And Binding may be one of the last ones. He's actually quite close to these guys, so I think Exus might have had another mistake. I don't know. His last lap was a 2:14, which is also quite slow. Trouble, though, still on his way to the finish line as well, with Trickster a little bit behind. Trickster's actually faster on that last lap, so definitely pushing, but not enough to catch Trouble in the Mercedes. Crossing the line for a respectable result as well. Nice little end-of-season celebrations there.
Yeah, as someone got an ad break on the last lap. Oh god, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Hashtag greed.
Yeah, I didn't mean it, please. But yeah,
But
so
yeah.
it's going to be Matt's winning that race, Cuckoo securing a P2 in the Nissan, and Veilside in P3, which was just enough, I believe, to win the championship, even with those mistakes. As thank you, Ultimate Case, for subscribing. Do appreciate it. And Wild Mammoth in P4, Exus in P5, Binding in P6, Trouble in P7, Trickster in P8, Unisec in P9, Eddie in P10, JD in P11, Exevius in P12, and Ricky on their debut in P13.
Wait, 13?
13? I don't have any.
Did we lose another person in like the final seconds or something?
We did lose Ultimate Case, but
Well, because I thought we finished with 14 people and we've only got 13 in the results. Well, either way, appreciate the compliment, Keza. I would have pinned your message, but it doesn't let me pin Prime messages apparently, so appreciate it nonetheless. Greetings back to you as well, Trickster. Was good watching you all on track. And let's see if there's some people reminisce on this race and this season.
you just cut out for a small second there, so you might.
Yeah, I was just saying. Let's see if there's anyone who wants to reminisce. But I think they're having a little post-race debrief, so we'll have to be a little patient before we get some drivers' voices in here.
Yeah, well, meanwhile, yeah, we can just talk about the results here. Absolute heartbreak. Ultimate Chaos as well saying in the chat, absolute heartbreak for Matt, and I completely agree. I think this is. He keeps on coming second place, and it's just so unfortunate. He has the pace to be a championship winner. I don't think he has yet won a championship. He's come second place so many times. It's just so unfortunate to once again see him just lose it again at the final race, and it's just, yeah, absolute heartbreak.
Well, don't feel too sorry for him because he did just win the title in that PC2 league I'm currently in, so it's a first-time league win for him there. He's been very strong in both and came very, very close to winning that one as well in the previous season, but lost it in the final round on the same track as he lost this one in the final round. So that is actually a bit of a coincidence. Spa, not necessarily his weakest track, but definitely not his luckiest, as he did bring it home in first place, but in the end, it was Veilside that took the title, and he is also taking up space in the interview room. So let's go ahead and bring in our champion.
We'll just say thank you, Trixer, for the subscription. Do appreciate it, and thank you for the mango as well. But yeah, let's bring in the championship.
And Carlever, there was no safety car.
Oh, thank you for reminding me, Carlever. But yeah, let's bring in the championship winner.
Veilside, congrats on. Is this your first title over at MSR?
No, it's the second one.
Ah, Nismo, you gave me misinformation.
Ah.
Well, congrats on your second one. It's certainly been a while.
Thank you.
How, like, what? Well, before I get into what happened during the race, what mentality did you start this race with? Because it was you both had all to lose in this race, and it definitely seemed like at first it was very, very well behaved by the top three.
I just find it like every other race. I just trained the wet weather, wet to dry, dry to wet, and like it's like the same other race. To be honest, like I know Mats is fast, so I was expecting a fight. To be honest, I don't know what happened with my wheel. It went to neutral, so I've went off track. Then I've lost it to Yurush, so yeah, it wasn't pleasant.
Well, before we get into the crash, so were you pushing at full pace at the start of the race, or were you just kind of easing the car into a good, comfortable window?
I was pushing all the time. No lifting, because Mats was close. I saw he took Kaze, and I was pushing after that because I didn't want him to catch me. But
but before he overtook Kaze, were you still pushing at that point?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's definitely the mentality that we love to see. Of course, it does bring a little bit of extra risk, but limits are there to be pushed, and you certainly had good pace tonight. But then you say your wheel disconnected, or
no, it went to neutral for some reason. I don't know why. And when I shifted to second, it just spun, and Mats was already close. I've made a mistake. I should have let another lap, drive another lap instead of going so early. Mats' strategy was better than my one. When I went out, the tires are cold. It was wet. Yeah, and I've lost it. I think the second or the third lap. I just didn't want to turn. The front tires, there weren't any temperature inside them, so.
Mm-hmm. And when you got that damage, how bad was the car?
34 damage on the back suspension.
Ooh, back suspension. That is arguably the worst part of the car to get damaged. So, were you instantly thinking about pitting, or did you think about staying out with that damage?
Nah, it wasn't drivable. The wheel it went like 45 degrees, and the car was going straight. So yeah, no. I had to pit. I've lost so much time in the pit. I've lost like 50 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. That gap was pretty severe after that, and basically right after your pit stop, you were around the edges of where you had to be to secure the title. So if there had been another crash, that could well have ended up costing you, but you ended up clawing back some more positions to finish, was it P3?
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't know like I thought I have to finish first. I didn't know what's other points, or I just was pushing for first, like all the time. I didn't know should I finish like top 6 or top 3, or I just pushing for the first place.
I mean, hey, again, that is what we love to see around here. Always getting the best pace out of the car. And yeah, I mean, you definitely had the pace for first, but when wheels go into neutral and arguably the worst section of the track, and the strategy ends up going awry as well, it's definitely not easy to win when you're up against Mats. But tell us a bit about how your teamwork was this season, because you guys dominated the team standings.
Well, we are a team, but like every driver is for himself. Like we didn't share setups, because I think we have different styles anyway. we just try to be good at with with I've tried to be like careful with him on track, and vice versa. And that's it, to be honest. Like yeah.
So essentially, you're just a bit more careful with Mats than with other people for on-track battles.
Yes, basically, yeah. I think he was the same with me. To be honest, I'm not that aggressive anyway, so I've tried to be careful with any other driver anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see that that humble attitude. It's pretty good teamwork as well, and I definitely don't think you guys are dependent on each other's setup because you're always at the top, especially with this car. So yeah, well done to the both of you. Nismo, do you have any more questions for this season's champion?
Yeah, but something about the future championship for the summer league. Of course, the vote hasn't come out for what cars are on the list, but if you had to pick one car to appear on the list for the next championship vote, what would it be?
I want some old American muscle cars, to be honest. I have two wheels. One is like half dished, like for open wheels, and one big 32-inch, which I miss driving. I won the first championship with him, and with the sequential shifter, so I've kind of missed driving with him. So I'll be happy if they choose something like this.
Sorry, I've just been told to hydrate a lot. Yeah, so something maybe around like the Chevy Impalas, like the 1963 Chevy Impalas, or say the old the Porsche or the Corvette.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely interesting cars for racing. Might not be the easiest to handle, but yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a championship in those, so that would most certainly be interesting. But yeah, thanks for coming on, Veilside. It's been a pleasure watching you race and getting a little bit of a view into that mindset that you have going into the championship decider. And yeah, enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Have a good one. All right, who's in next?
Getting told to hydrate so much, I can't keep up with it. So I mean, you got Cuckoo who's in P2, so we could bring in Cuckoo, and of course, their closest rival Binding.
Absolutely, let's bring him in at the same time.
But I mean, oh, hello.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, shit. Hello.
Well, welcome to the both of you. Cuckoo, congrats on that P2. But first and
Thank
foremost, I must apologize to Car Lover, and I'll ask his question to you guys instead. Should every car have a center seat cockpit?
I'm not sure about that.
I mean, probably not if it's just based on a production car.
Fair enough, fair enough. Cuckoo, you had a pretty good race, finished P2. And I think strategy had quite a significant role in that too. Tell us what you were thinking.
I wasn't even entirely sure I would be able to race tonight, so I can't say I did that much preparation for this as to compared to what I would normally do. So what I ended up doing was full tank of fuel from the start, soft tyres. I think at the first pit stop I put about 20 litres in the wets, and then when I switched back onto the dries I put another 20 litres in and softs again. So it was soft, wet, soft, and then 100 litres 20-20 at the pit stops.
And what was the deciding factor to come into the pits for wets?
Just feel, really. I got to a point and I was kind of like, yeah, this is it. It's wet time. So yeah, that was. I think it just started drizzling when I got back past Ricky actually, and then I came in about lap 9-10. I think I did a few more laps. So I just sort of was watching everyone in front of me as well, and then I made the call, and I think a couple of them stayed out. And I remember thinking at the time that's the wrong call. They should have come in, and then I think I actually jumped them while they did that last lap on the wet when they did their pit stops. I got past them. So I definitely judged it correctly there. And then similar sort of thing on the way back in, really, onto the dries. I think I timed it fairly well. I just didn't really do a good enough job of keeping out the wetter bits of the track on my first lap also. So it took me a couple more laps to really get the heat in them than I'd have liked. But at that point, I was sort of P4, I think, following Mammoth and K's before they had their issues.
Yeah, and I was gonna ask you as well. You were catching Kaiser quite significantly towards the end of the race. How far ahead was he when he disconnected?
He was about four-ish seconds down the road. I think he may have actually kept it. I don't think I would have been able to close up that badly, but I wasn't sure if he'd like decided to stay out on the wets or something. He can't have done surely, but yeah, I just seem to have a bit more pace in the dry compared to him in the drying track.
Yeah, we were quite puzzled by that pace as well, but towards the end he started to speed up significantly, so he must have been doing something strange on slicks.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying because I had a few offs and stuff, so that cost me quite a bit of time when I was fighting him. So I think I could have been a lot closer to fighting for that second on merit if I hadn't have cocked up quite so much as I did.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still happy with the result. You know, you have to be there in order to get it in the first place. So I managed to not bin the car badly enough to kill me. So
yeah, and
I came close to doing it a couple of times actually.
We did see a couple of binnings this race, but especially early in the race, I think you had some decent on-track action, and I think it was against Keza that you were doing quite the defense as well, and your car seemed very, very loose for several laps.
Yes, that yeah, I've just seen that actually, him getting past me. Yeah, I don't know, it just didn't really come together on the full wet once it had like properly gotten wet. I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't really have the confidence to do much with it, so I was a bit down on pace compared to K's.
Did you practice for the dry or for the wet?
The only running I'd done was in the dry, so this was actually the first time experiencing the track wet as well, which also probably didn't help.
Alright, gentlemen, if I may interrupt you, but it is official. I barely beat Cuckoo in the standings.
Oh, that was going to be my next question on if you know who won.
5 points.
Well, hang on, there's the drop round as well, so you're actually going to lose 5 points.
Oh my fucking god, we are even on points there.
So, I did the maths before, remember?
I mean,
what does
I
that mean?
You
You
the
beat?
first race, and you lose 5 points on your worst race, which I think
Does that mean you beat me because you got a higher position in a race than me? I feel like
I'd imagine if we implement that rule, I would. I'm not sure if that's how it works.
Oh god.
I
Okay,
mean, I
for
think
the
maybe the
moment,
drop race has already been implemented. Because
Oh, has it?
let me
Veilside
ask.
is
Let me
in
ask.
P1, and he wouldn't have got that amount of points to put him actually P1 in the standings, but he would have won it due to the drop race.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Maybe they're
you're
already
free-binding then.
maybe there's some sort of code or something in the
Oh, yeah,
XML.
Nemo.
I'm asking him. I'm asking Kaze to verify what's going on.
Kaze. How did you say Kaze? Hang on.
That's how I pronounce his name now, and I
Yeah,
do not care
he
that
always
it's
does
wrong.
that.
I reckon I could have been scrapping for 4th if Donington hadn't been a shocker.
But Donington happened, and I almost got a
Donington
podium.
did indeed happen.
Hold on,
Okay,
though,
he
didn't.
Nismo.
K's Kaze, he is saying that the drop round was counted. That means I do indeed beat her by 5 points.
Nismo, what I'm
Congratulations then,
confused
Viney.
about though is the fact that Veilside and Matt are separated by just 1 point, while Veilside has the fastest lap point as well, and he finished P3. So if he would have finished P5 or 6, wouldn't he have lost?
Hang on, yeah. Maybe my calculator. Oh god, it was even closer than we might have thought then.
So wait, who has more wins between them? Because if this was decided by the fastest lap point, that is wild.
So I think Matt. Hold on, then Veilside. Then Matt. Then neither of them. Then Matt. Then Matt.
Oh wow.
And then Matt. Wait, hang on.
So you're telling me Matt would have won the championship if he'd gotten fastest lap?
Yeah.
Oh my
Jesus.
goodness.
Wow.
And I think
Okay.
yeah, if I think it was all down to as well Le Mans. Gave Veilside put Veilside right back into the championship. Matt's only came P6 in it, and then Veilside came second, which gave him almost double the amount of points that Matt's got in that race.
That is incredibly close.
Because-
Wow.
Out of the 7 races, Matt's won 5 of them. 5 of the races.
So wait,
Very
hold on.
spicy.
Another thing I want to clarify: if Keza hadn't magically DNF'd in like the final few laps, would Mats have won the title?
I think he would have.
Yeah,
Oh my
no,
goodness.
I
If he's
think he
behind
would.
by 1
Oh
point,
my-
if Case hadn't
Oh.
disconnected, then Bell's
Holy
going to be behind
shit.
Case as well.
Tinfoil hat.
Yeah, we're
time.
putting some tinfoil hats on right now.
No, that's it. We're starting a revolution. We're doing a coup against K's. This is intentional. I will
I
not
like to
stand by
imagine.
this.
I like to imagine Veilside like holding the wheel with his knees on the straight and like smashing away on the keyboard as he's doing like a DDoS on K's.
Or he just went to K's house, held him at gunpoint. Forced
mean,
him to
right.
disconnect. Yeah.
Veilside,
Oh no, your router.
Veilside did say he was pushing, so he could have been pushing keys as well.
Oh, Christ.
What- I do
Yeah,
have
that
to
is,
ask.
what a conclusion to the season. Binding, since we have you in here anyway, what's been your biggest beef between you and Cuckoo this season?
The fact that I suck.
You don't suck.
I don't care that I beat her in the standings. She got second in an Eastern. This is bullshit. I should have 2 podiums this season, but every goddamn time I go close, the drive-through comes out of nowhere, drop kicks my Mercedes in the pit lane, and then I'm stuck in 4th. God damn it, I'm Nico Hulkenberg. Okay, I'm good. I'm good. I just needed to
Is
get that one
that
out.
out of your system now?
Oh god,
You scare me a bit.
my race was rather uneventful. I made a very poor tactical decision by putting the hards on stint 1, hence why I died in stint 1.
That makes sense.
It was
Yeah,
not
that
my
was
smartest move. I thought the softs would absolutely shred, hence my status, as you can see. But
Oh
I
no,
was
my
wrong.
tires.
I was
Sorry,
wrong.
I've just found where I nearly met Barry R at the top of Eau Rouge.
So yeah, no,
hence the scream.
I am going to kill you. I swear to God, I'm ranting. You will not interrupt me.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
Have a Snickers,
He's
you're
still
not
won
using
and
it
he's
for
just
drink.
completely just like, I don't care.
I don't think I've
You-
seen anyone be this angry at being P5 in the standings.
Look, if she got to go through her entire race, so do I. Okay, my wet stint was also pretty bad. I just kept going off at that fast left-hander that I can't remember the name of because I don't remember track names well. And then I went into the Zen state where I fucking obliterated trouble. And yeah, that was nice. Not literally obliterate as in crashed into him, as in I passed him. I didn't.
Of
kill
course,
him.
of course.
I don't know.
I wasn't
yeah,
thinking
it
of
sounded premeditated, especially in Zen mode.
That sounds like a D.
meditation there.
That sounds like a D class penalty
on the
right there.
softs. I was trying my damnedest to get the fastest lap. Unfortunately, probably for the best now that I learned, I did not get it.
Oh, but yeah. One more question though before we have to let you go. I think we have one more person waiting in the interview
Yeah,
booth.
Tell Trouble he's cringe.
Okay. Is so the vote for the next league car hasn't appeared yet. What are your predictions and what car would you like to see on the vote?
Ooh.
I'm not Kaku, but I'm going to say right now, Formula 1 cars, because it'd be funny to watch me just cry again.
P4.
Oh no, those would be fun too.
Those are my favourite class in the game.
The P4s.
Don't
The
yeah.
P4s.
Actually, on that note, LMPs in general, LMP 1s, 2s, they would be fun as hell. Maybe even Daytona prototypes.
No, I think we need a go-kart league.
I'm going to
Oh,
kill
God.
you.
I don't know if I'm signing up for that one.
When you hear the Grenadiers song outside your window, you'll know fucking why. Watch yourself, you'll shit. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry.
How many
I
fronts
will
have you
say
done
this, though.
today, Binding?
I don't know. I'm just happy that the season's over and I can finally say I beat Mia in something, even though she got fucking P2 in an Easter. God damn it!
I'm starting to think maybe I shouldn't have done that. It seems to be bad for his mental state.
Everything's bad for my mental state.
That does seem to be an
My
accurate.
cat was brushing against my leg for the entirety of my last stint trying to get out my room.
Just kick it, getting on the brakes.
I'll have
The
a
cat is a
quickly,
paid actor.
saying, would you finish P4 in the P4s?
I'm gonna fucking kill you, Carlo. I'm gonna find you in real
Okay,
life.
Jesus.
I'm joking, police.
Against Twitch TOS to kill people.
I have no involvement in any illegal activities, please. FBI, I do not know why I'm here. I was added by a third party. I mean, literally, I was dragged in here.
Well, I will say
Allegedly
this
dragged
though,
in.
guys. We have Trouble finishing the season in P4. We have Binding finishing in P5 and Cuckoo in P6. While some slightly more established names like Gillish are down in P10, Tomba in P12. Is this an exchange of the guard?
No, because Gillish wasn't here half the season. If Gillish was here for the entire season, he would have won it by a lot.
Yeah, Gillish.
Would he
Gillish was
though?
probably
He's not
Yeah.
had the strongest season.
I still
It's
reckon he'd probably be
Gillish.
a given Le Mans and
The
Donny.
shit I've seen that man do, he will find a way.
Well, that's
And as for Tomba, well, he's in a Nissan. So
fair enough. Nismo, any more comments on these two's antics?
No, apart from, well, I hope we see some close battle and championship battles for next season, no matter the car.
I will say, next season I may end up bringing someone new to Syndicate, not from Syndicate. Maybe. I don't know if he's
So
actually going
does
to go
this
for it.
does this mean you're breaking up with Shed?
If you, Shed
hang on,
kind
we
of
should-
existed.
Wait,
Alright, let me look at the standings real quick. Let's see here. 38 points because he wasn't here half the time.
That's
I'm sorry,
very
Shad.
cool.
Shad, I'm
Very
sorry.
cool.
I'm sorry,
was-
Shad.
I did just want to make sure, yeah, it was Shad you were talking about, because all I heard was Shed.
Yeah, no. The joke is if you use
Jim-
crew chief, it refers to him as
It
Shed.
refers to him as Shed. All I'm saying is I dragged the Mercedes D2 team to 5th on my fucking back.
Jesus Christ, he's gone off the deep end.
I'm so.
Maybe it's good that the season's ending now.
Yeah.
Shad, if you're watching this, I know you had your
Oh,
reasons.
I
I'm
need
not,
to
I'm
drink,
not upset.
sorry.
I'm not upset with you. I'm just joking around if you're watching this, Shad.
We're gonna have a lot of
And thank
clips
you
of
for being
angry
my
binding
teammate.
at the end of this.
And thank you for being my teammate, Shad.
Looks like I know what I'm putting in my next YouTube compilation.
10 minutes of binding screaming his lungs out. Yeah, it's been nice hearing y'all and being slightly deafened, but we've still got to bring Trouble in. So thanks very much for coming on, guys. It's been a pleasure interviewing you and
thank
seeing you out on
thank
track.
Don't tell
Yeah.
Trouble I think he's a stinky boy. Don't tell him that.
Okay,
See you guys later. Thank you for having me.
no worries.
It was a nice
see,
season.
see you next season.
See you next
Glad
season.
you enjoyed it.
For more unhinged ranting, apparently.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Trouble, I'd just like to start off this interview by saying that certain individuals request that you take a shower.
Yeah, I heard that on stream. Can I say, I do not believe I'm cringe as, hey, Binding, I'm, how far ahead? How far? 19 points ahead.
Ooh. Shade has been thrown. Now tell us how you got there, Trouble.
That's what he gets for calling me stinky. Like, I can't believe this man. Also, I did hear that they said they went Super Zen mode and destroyed me in the last race. Yeah, when he overtook me, he absolutely destroyed me. I'm gonna be honest, he didn't need to go frickin' Super Saiyan. I hit a wall, had 0 speed and damage, and was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw you take provisional pole briefly in qualifying. How much practice did you get for this race?
Well, I was in the server for like 10 minutes, and I probably did like 20 minutes-ish of practice beforehand, which mostly was in the wet rather than anything to do with quali. Like, I'd not done any quali practice, it was just making sure I didn't immediately die as soon as a single drop of rain hit the track.
Yeah,
Which,
and
that worked. The issue I had was then when it went back to dry that I bottled it a lot.
was that before switching to the slicks?
No, that was after switching to the slicks. Because
Oh,
that lap where I did it was 1 lap too soon, and it wasn't so much to do with tire temperatures. I just apparently hadn't figured out that I need to brake early if my tires are cold. Like, I know, Giga brain things here, but like I don't know, I just didn't, and ended up getting stuck in the gravel at on, I think it was, twice. And then, yeah, I eventually hit the top of Radion and, you know the rest, Binding overtook. Speaking of which, I know at one point you were mentioning about the fight with me and Trixer, and you're saying, oh, well, Trixer can't be losing only however much it was to me, because, he can't be on wets, rather. And I'm pretty sure he was on wets. I just had a shit ton of damage. Like, I don't know, you really should have looked at Bindy ahead to see how much, what the difference in speed was, because I was losing 3 to 4 seconds a lap from the damage.
Now, considering you were in the Merc, do you think that's one of the better or worse cars for wet weather racing?
For the rain, I think it is... Well, I want to say it's one of the worst, but I don't really know if that's it actually being slower or if it's that it loses more speed. Because the Merc is, well, like, over the course of the season has been the fastest car. It probably was only actually slower than a car at Kansai. Because the Porsche was really good there. But yeah, I don't know if it's just that it loses more speed and suddenly I feel bad, but yeah, it just gets really sketchy in the wet.
Now, speaking of sketchy, if MSR were to organize a karting league, would you join that?
A karting league as in AMS2?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd still join it. It'd be hilarious, frankly. It'd be so much chaos.
Yeah, I can't even imagine doing commentary on something like that, considering all the incidents we had last time.
Also, no, this sounds great. Imagine the number of Class D penalties we get.
I think we'd have to introduce a Class K penalty just for the karts.
Yes, agreed.
Not quite sure what that would do though. Actually, what would be interesting is imagine we start the league off, and this is just me inventing things here. But we start off with a league that's super karts for everyone. And everyone who gets penalized for an incident, like their penalty for causing an incident is automatically that they have to drive a normal kart for the rest of the season.
Oh.
And then we'd end up with a big multi-class season.
That is rather funny.
I think that idea has merit. What do you think, Nismo? If you haven't drowned yet.
I'm drowning. Help me. I'm at Car Lover's mercy right now.
Hey, give me some credit too. I spent like 1,000 Niz money on feeding you tonight.
I don't know how Car Lover has this much. Now others are joining in. Stop joining in. This isn't fair. I've actually been trying to think of questions to try and look at the standing, but every time I look away, there's another hydrate. I've got only 3 now.
Yeah, this is funny. Keep going.
Oh god.
Actually, I just was Martin. You mentioned I was on provisional pole. I ended up falling to 9th, like 2 seconds-ish back. The funny thing, I crossed the line for that lap with like 5 seconds to go. Didn't have enough fuel. I had like half a lap of fuel left. If I'd put the extra fuel, I would have got an extra lap. I decided to keep going, and I was 9/10 up in the first sector alone. So I could have got like top 3 in quali. I'm not sure it would have lasted in the race, but like, that'd be great.
Yeah, that is pretty. You need to start putting more fuel in the car, both in the races and in qualifying. I feel like that's what gets you most of the time.
No, I've only messed up the fuel once ever, and that did happen to be in this league, because that was Spielberg.
Well, I guess I'm also counting all the fuel bugs you tend to get.
Yeah, but that's not my fault. Like, that's I can't put more in. That's not that I've underfueled it. I feel like a lot of people have had more issues with them underfueling. But yeah, in this case, I did do that once, and yeah, the underfueling for quali, that was literally because I didn't expect to be able to do another lap. I didn't expect, like, as I said, there was like 5 seconds left, and I thought I was gonna just about miss out, but then I ended up being wrong.
Now, speaking of fueling things, what do you think Nismo should drink in the next stream?
Vodka. I'm kidding.
how much caffeine can we put in a drink?
Oh no, no. I've given up Red Bulls and now. Also, Martin, stop becoming part of the problem as well. I also can't.
How much more drink do you have?
He's getting pretty low.
This 2 litre bottle was supposed to be drunk from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. It started full at the start of this stream, and I'm now at 7 p.m. Oh my god,
Nismo's bladder is currently full of 2 liters of apple squash.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I'm feeling the acid of it. Like every sip gets a bit more acidic, and it's slowly just starting to just.
That's because you've got to where all of the concentrate has sort of fallen to the bottom because it's a bit denser. So you get that really strong bit right at the end.
Yeah, Nismo, you're just not concentrated enough. You gotta concentrate harder.
Oh god.
You see, if you were good at this, Nismo, you would have shaken it up before this barrage of drinks came in. Then it wouldn't have been so bad. But you know, you've shot yourself in the foot. You've got no one else to blame.
Yeah, Lord Juvenal's giving you another
yeah,
hydrate.
exactly. This is absolute. This is there's got to be some sort of thing against the Geneva Convention or something on this. I'm being absolutely.
We're getting our money's worth tonight. Speaking of, did you vote in tonight's poll, Trouble?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Trouble, you bastard.
And for once, I actually didn't intend to. Most of the time, I intend to, and sometimes, like, because of quali, don't end up having time. This time, I just had no clue. Because I was like, well, usually we're pretty safe. But then, yeah, I was terrified of this track. Because it's... I think I've driven this like older version of Spa like once ever and was just terrified of the walls.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit less forgiving compared to the modern layout. But then again, these cars, it's if you go off track, you're not gonna be given much mercy either way. But I'd say overall you had a fairly decent race.
Well, the first part of it was very decent, and. Yeah, as I said, on the transition back to dry, I massively fucked up. I would have been... I'm confident that I would have been 4th or 5th if I hadn't messed up that badly. But alas, that's ifs and buts, and that's, again, sort of what happened with Veilside and I think it was Mammoth, where they both messed up, had to pit again. I messed up multiple times, I just didn't pit because I didn't have quite as much damage. It still really didn't help my speed, but like it just wasn't quite worth pitting. So, well, it happens. And either way, throughout this race, it was weird because I was both being really careful, and then sometimes with the strategy, I was like, screw it, I can afford to take a few risks because I figured out that if I were to DNF, Binding would have had to get a podium, and if effectively, even if he won, I'd only have to get like 9th or something like that. So it was basically just like, oh, I'm far enough ahead. Time to take a risk. And then the first time when I pitted a bit later for wets, that paid off. But later when I pitted for slicks early, that did not pay off. So I'm 50-50 on taking risks. I'm not sure if that's a great percentage, but oh well.
It's pretty balanced, as all things should be.
Yeah, exactly. And I clearly didn't do badly enough to make my team drop at all, because we've managed to get second in the teams for at least my first time ever. I don't know about Phoenix.
Yeah, congrats for that, because that is impressive no matter who your teammate is, so definitely well done to you there.
Admittedly, it was massive, like, it would have been the other way around had Kaiser not disconnected. But then you could also say, well, Fennec disconnected right at the start, so I don't really know what
again, perfectly balanced.
Yeah, again, perfectly balanced, like, many ifs and buts, and at the end of the day, this is how it ended up turning out. So, oh well, that's
now
it's sort of benefited me, so I'll take it.
Now, since you are the final interviewee for tonight, because the other person that was waiting in there with you ran out of time, I think.
Yep.
This is the hour when all the mystical questions start to come up. So.
Oh yeah, like last time. That was great.
If you had supreme power over the tire selection, would you rather make the entire grid drive in the wet on slicks or in the dry on wets?
I'm
That includes you, by the way. You would be on the
yeah,
grid.
yeah,
too.
I know that includes me. I'm going to say the wet on slicks. The reason being that as much as I'd rather drive wet on a dry track, the tire wear would be so atrocious I'd be spending 5 minutes in the pit, and I'd rather not spend that extra time in the pit. So that's your answer. I mean, I guess it'd be interesting because it'd be all about tire management, but I feel like the race would get a bit boring at that point.
I mean, I'm not sure it's possible to manage wets in the dry, especially
Yeah,
in,
but
in
as
a
in
sim.
even anyone who could do it even slightly better, they'd probably wear at the point where you're making like 4 pit stops a race. Like,
I mean,
and if you can
I
then
think-
do one less pit stop, that's massive.
What I think would happen is we'd have people going for a no stop and just try and go as fast as possible with the
What with
atrocious
burst
tires they have
tires?
left. Because a fresh wet on a dry track is not going to be that much better than a worn wet
Yeah,
on a dry track.
But the thing is, as I discovered in Le Mans, you can get punctures.
Oh,
Because that happened to me at Le Mans, and that massively messed me up. I mean, I still managed to get a podium, but that was in spite of the puncture, not because of it.
yeah, that would have been quite strange if it was because of it.
Yeah. Like,
Nismo, are
it
you still alive?
massively messed me up, so...
I think we've lost Nismo. He has been
He's muted.
overfilled with liquids.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because I still have more to spend.
Well, I do have more questions for you, though, before we finish
Yeah.
off the stream. If you could add one natural disaster to the game, what would it be?
One natural disaster. Right, what would... Well, let's work through this. So I don't think a tsunami would be very helpful, because at some tracks it just wouldn't do anything, because it wouldn't be able to reach the track.
It would just cause the stress in the crowd
A-
because their home might be near the coast.
Yeah, exactly. But for the race, that has no effect. Earthquake. Now that would be pretty funny. Probably painful for the drivers because I'm assuming it would be like the sort of in-game, like in some games where they have the earthquake effect and your camera moves about all over the place.
Oh yeah, that'd
I
definitely be a
feel like
little
that
harsh
would
for
be
the VR
really
guys.
annoying to drive with. But as far as driving goes, that would be kind of funny. Otherwise, I can imagine. I'll say tornado because in my mind I just imagine the tornado working like some things in Mario Kart where you just start
I was
spinning.
just about to say, because
you
in Double
drive
Dash on
into
that
it.
desert track they have one.
Yeah, exactly. Like you drive into it, you just spin around. Like it
Well,
just
you
makes you
lift
spin.
it up and spin around, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
But we have a suggestion in the chat: a sinkhole. Would just one be enough to make it interesting, or would you need multiple?
No, I think, well, it depends where it is on the track. Because, like, if it was on the racing line, then it would be interesting. And you'd only need one.
I mean, it's
But-
essentially like a PC2 puddle at that point.
Yeah, but, well, it's like a PC2 puddle, except for your race literally ends if you fall in it. Like, it's the biggest pothole ever. Actually, speaking of which, I know it's not a natural disaster, but if you just had the ability to just add potholes, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, no, that'd be pretty interesting. Like, give every driver a couple of bowling balls worth of ballast or something, and they can decide to dump it out of their car whenever they like, but it has to be during the race, and then they can be strategic about where they create the potholes.
Actually, I know that it's not real, but
Isn't-
the perfect natural disaster would be raining bananas.
I'm not sure if that's ever happened in real life. It might have
No,
with
no,
like a cargo plane losing its
I'm saying,
banana
I'm pretty
load, but-
sure it's. I'm saying it's not real, but like, imagine just like Mario Kart bananas, but it just like they're unavoidable.
Well, at that point, I would call it an unnatural disaster instead of a natural disaster.
Okay, yeah, fair point. It's not a natural disaster, but it's still a disaster.
But what fascinates me about the pothole idea is, I mean, you're gonna have to be putting the potholes where you are driving yourself, and that pothole is going to be there on the next lap too. So you're going to be putting
Yeah.
potholes there for yourself as well.
True.
Sounds like a banana from Mario Kart.
Well, yeah, but a banana goes away after you hit it once or twice if it's double dash with the giant banana. But a pothole is there permanently, so you'd be crushing your car every lap going over that.
Actually, I feel like if you were to keep dropping them in the same place each time, it would end up as a sinkhole.
I mean, I suppose it could get deeper and deeper, yeah, and then potentially be even more damaging. But that would be very interesting if you like risk getting suspension damage after hitting one of those.
Actually, no, I've thought of another interesting one. What if the natural disaster was a heat wave, and it did like has happened in F1 a few times, where it basically melts the tarmac? Like it literally destroys the road as you drive over it because it's too hot.
I mean, that would be interesting, but I think what would be more likely is that everyone driving in the league would suddenly have like a large temperature increase in the room, and potentially their hardware might fail, or they'll just willingly quit the race because they're too warm.
I thought we were talking about in-game, not in real life.
Well, I guess you have a good point there, because
I wasn't expecting health issues caused by these natural disasters. Like,
well, that's just the first thing I thought of when you mentioned a heat wave. It's more like it has an effect on the people rather than the cars.
Yeah, no, but I was thinking like I think it was Las Vegas in F1 like ages ago, not the new one, but like an older one.
The Caesar's Palace one, yeah.
Yeah, where literally it was so hot that the track was literally melting.
I mean, it was a parking lot after all, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it'd be interesting, but I feel like it would be a little bit underwhelming compared to pothole spam or tornadoes.
The tornadoes would be good. The thing with pothole spam is I'm thinking it would just get to the point where it's not interesting at all, because once you get too many and they're unavoidable, it just becomes
A nuisance.
just a big nuisance and kind of prevents racing. Whereas actually the tornadoes wouldn't necessarily prevent people racing, because like you spin around, like some people try and leave the track to avoid it or something, and like there's different ways of avoiding it, and then you get going again. Rather
I've
than
just come
you
up...
hit a pothole, your tire blows up, your car's dead.
Yeah. I've just come up though with a very innovative change to the tornado idea. So forget Mario Kart for a second. Imagine realistic tornado physics. And
What about
you
Sharknado?
kind of got a picture of chutes and ladders here. The tornado can deposit you anywhere on the track.
It's snakes and ladders.
Well, I'm sure it's called different things in different places, but either way,
Mm-hmm.
you can lose or gain time depending on where the tornado drops you. But then there's also the question of track limits. Like, should you get a penalty for being picked up by a tornado and deposited 3 corners later?
No. You can't control that. You can control where you drive most of the time.
Well, you can try and avoid the tornado.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but that's not quite the same thing.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting if someone could mod that into the game. We can have like a non-championship round.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So any programmers listening in the crowd of 5 that we have left, you know what to do. But yeah, Trouble, it's been a pleasant season.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a bit less so for Nismo, considering that he's definitely drowned by now.
Yeah.
Well, that's a less pleasant race. They're not the season. Speaking
so
of
the
which,
season
do
was
you have
less
any
pleasant?
drink left? No, the season was pleasant. This race was less pleasant for him.
No, yeah, no, for sure.
I-
But, what was that, Nismo?
No, sorry. You go ahead, and now I'll answer Trevor's question after.
I was just gonna see if we could get some closing statements for tonight, because this is gonna be the last stream of the season. After that, it's gonna be a bit of a wait for the next one. So
Yeah. Well, obviously Vilside taking the championship, but the more important championship is taken by Svi on the commentator
Is that the commentator's
curses.
curse? Yeah.
Now, does anyone here want to take a good guess of how many commentator curses Svi has?
4.
I think he was on 3 before, so I'm gonna say 5.
You are right, Trouble. 5.
Oh,
He's on 5. Winning the commentator curses championship. Color saying 6, very close as well. followed by 2 points behind Exus, and then 1 point behind is Dimitrov, Ali, and Xavius. And then my question is though, who didn't get commentator cursed? Because I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18.
I was the very first commentator's curse. So.
We have 18 people who have been commentator cursed. Who hasn't?
Did I just have one?
All this season, just this season.
Wow.
We commentated cursed 8 individual people.
Oh, I thought you said 18. Okay.
So no, it's 18. Yeah, 18 individual people.
Is it 8 or 18?
18.
18. Okay,
18.
yeah, that is very impressive.
Let's quickly just.
And that's out of 27 people have been.
So I'll say.
We've only had like an average of 20 people per race too. So.
Yeah. There's been quite a few, like with reserves and people switching out and what have you. There's been quite a few.
So we commented Curse Trouble, so Trouble off the list. Jedlin,
I was the very first to be commentator's cursed. It was in. I think did I only have one?
You had 2.
2. Okay, so was I technically joint third?
Joint third, yeah.
Damn. But yeah, one of those was literally like in the first preseason race. So.
I don't think
Tomahawks.
I don't think Tomahawks got
Well, he wasn't there for half the season.
That's a good point.
Kind of cheating.
I mean, Tomba has had a relatively awful season. I mean, I know he hasn't been here half the time, but there was a few times even during it where he got rather unlucky.
Oh, absolutely.
That wasn't us.
That was painful to watch. But Nismo, can you like get a schedule of the drivers who finished every single race and see if there's anyone among those drivers that didn't get cursed?
I could take a look, but that's quite hard.
Like Matt, me, Xavius, Exus, Kaiser technically didn't.
I feel like round 4 Le Mans would describe it perfectly. So ultimate case.
Yeah, Le Mans had a lot.
K's, yeah, we got K's. VL side, we got VL side. Trouble, yeah, we got Trouble. Binding, get Binding. Oh, hold on. I don't think we did we? No, I remember. I don't think we commentated cast Binding.
That is both surprising.
That is really
also,
surprising.
I thought that as an absolute win.
I thought
he has had a better season than usual.
That is true. That you did beat Cuckoo this season, and we did curse Cuckoo in that final one. So that's gotta be the whole reason that.
Wait, did you curse Cuckoo today?
Yeah, today she got.
She got second.
Yeah.
Damn, you're not very good at your job.
I know. We need
well, not all curses are created equal.
Well, yeah, okay, that is very apparent.
Did we get Exus? Yeah, got Exus. He came second.
He did. Yeah, I was gonna say he literally came second.
Mats got Mats. Pretty sure I remember getting.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you got Mats.
Yeah, we got Mats.
Cuckoo, you did Xavius.
Xavius, I'm pretty. Yeah, Xavius got 2.
Yeah. Okay.
Mammoth. Yeah, today.
Okay, Jedlin.
Jedlin. I don't think we got Jedlin.
Well, Jedlin DNF'd really early.
Yeah. So then, do you count him or not? And that would be the same thing to say about Fennec.
Trixer.
Okay, if you can.
Don't think no Trixer. They didn't get Trixer. And then Fennec.
So I guess that means statistically you're safest in the midfield then, right?
Exactly. Anywhere.
Statistically, yeah. And it's also kind of surprising that statistically, the people towards the top also have more commentators' curses.
Well, that's because we're on them more.
Yeah, actually, that's a very fair point.
Well, to
that
be
makes
fair,
a
though,
lot of sense.
We generally cover, and this is one thing that I think is better about our streams compared to some other streams is we try and focus on the battles no matter where they are on the grid.
True.
And like a typical league would be focusing on the lead more. A typical league would be focusing more on the lead more, no matter what, even if there's no action there whatsoever. Also, we've been covering the midfield quite a bit, but I think the leaders this season have just had a lot of moments, especially in like the top 5 area where there's battles going on. So that's been very nice to see this season.
I mean, the thing is, if you'd only been watching the top spots, then I would have only been seen in 2 races.
And yet we commentator cursed you twice.
Yeah.
How's that?
And one of those, amazingly, was in the preseason, where I was nowhere, practically.
Yeah, I forgot about preseason. 9 total rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. We have a closing statement from Binding as well, where he says he would like to
Is he
publicly
calling me
apologize
Stinky
for his
again?
conduct on stream. He does not associate with his opinions listed that day, except for he associates with all of them.
Hang on.
The math ain't mathin'.
Yeah.
The math ain't mathin'.
Man, no, that has been
But, yeah. You know, I'll let him call me Stinky when he beats me.
ooh, so that is an
the
objective for
same-
next season.
In the same league, because he has beaten me before. Like, I'm not saying he's bad. He's a good driver, but beat me in the same league that you're insulting me, please.
Oh, yeah, I can't
Well-
help saying, hold up, wait a minute, someone ain't right.
It looks like Binding's beef is now extending to multiple people. That sounded a bit wrong.
As if
but
it
it's true.
hadn't already.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been an interesting season. I think tonight's race was definitely quite the plot twist with how close it ended up being. Just 1 point separating the top 2 in the standings, and yeah, a lot of different things could have happened, but in the end, Veilside took it home, got his second title over at MSR, and I am very curious to see who's going to be the next one. Say what?
Did you say it was the second?
Well, he informed us it was the second, but his first one must have been a while ago because Nismo had forgotten about it.
Huh. I can't remember which one it was.
We
I
have
also
been
don't
racing
really
for a long
remember who-
time, to be fair.
Yeah, we'd have to look back through all the different ones.
We're getting old. Our memory is failing us.
Yes.
And
20 years, oh god. The age.
Back in my day, we played AMS 0.4.
I've never played AMS 1, never by 0.4.
AMS 2, but on lower
yeah.
graphics.
Anyway, speaking of people doing well, I've clearly done too well in this league. I need to get like basically last in the next one so I don't get BOP.
No, you are getting BOP'd. There's no way I'm kidding.
You see, we just need to have enough where there's no BOP options and I can do shit, and then I'll degrade your opinion of me so much that I won't be BOP'd again. and it repeats. That'll just be how it works.
Well,
Yeah,
no. See, Trouble. One way to save face, so just to practice a lot more for that season, then do significantly worse, and then when you're un-BOP'd again, stop practicing, and then you'll be quick again.
But you see, practice doesn't make me slower. It doesn't make me faster, but it doesn't make me slower.
To be fair, your best moments have been when you had the least practice.
Best moment in what sense? My
In
best
many
finish
senses.
was the one where I got the least practice, that being Hockenheim. But that was the only case where that where that thing of doing less practice working better was actually true.
No, I genuinely remember like having you in here with after a good race, asking about how much
I'm
you
talking about
prepared
in
for
this
it.
league. And this league, I have done more practice than I have in most of the previous ones.
That is
Not that
true.
that's
I
very
can confirm
much.
that.
I calculated in this league I did about 4 hours of practice total. In previous leagues it was a bit over, like I think it was like an hour
2
and a
minutes.
half. No, I think it was about an hour and a half. But some races it would be literally nothing, like it would be qualifying. But then others would be like half an hour, and that sort of averaged out. Whereas this one had been sort of more consistent with like half an hour, except for Le Mans that was like an hour and a half, and that brings it up a lot.
Well, I think I'm gonna have to end it there because Nismo is getting very drunk with the stream graphics at the moment.
I misclicked.
He's getting drunk with the stream graphics. Oh no.
Yeah,
But
though.
yeah, the stream is definitely not starting, fellas. It is well and truly ending. I'll hand over the mic to Nismo for the final closing statements. But for me, it's definitely a thank you.
Secretly, he's now turned it into a 24-hour stream. We're going on to Sea of Thieves next.
No, not like
Ruined my moment.
Do it again then, Martin.
No, I
The
refuse.
past is the past. It's already happened. I've already ruined it. Do it again.
Thanks for listening, fellas. It's been a wonderful season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Thanks for streaming. It has been very fun.
all right. Yeah, we'll catch you next season.
I'm sure you will.
Oyasumi.
Right. So yeah, that.
What does that mean?
That means good night in Japanese.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I just felt since I started the stream with a Japanese thing, I felt like I should end it with that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Makes sense. I did notice you started it with that.
I probably should have done that for the previous round, but hey, you live and you learn.
all right. So finally, to to finish off the stream. Yeah.
we're
What
still
a
live?
what a season. Yeah, of course I am. I've been
Oh, I
trying to
thought we
finish.
were off the-
I've been trying to
Oh.
finish the stream for like.
You ruined it.
I'm
Good
gonna
job,
do
we
my
could never
closing
Martin have
remarks.
what
I
he
gotta do my
wants.
closing remarks.
I thought you already did them.
I didn't. I spoke with like 2 words, and then I got
you
into.
did your you did your closing remarks. Nismo didn't do his.
Yeah, end up season. What a great season. Very good. Cargo broom really quickly.
Really
No, but yeah, no, absolutely
Not
amazing
wrong.
championship fight there. The battle was pretty much all season, and yeah, a lot of fun. Our next season will be probably something a bit more tameable, hopefully. But we're yet to see. If you do want to be part of it, you can always join the Discord. If you don't have the Discord, I can always send a link. But yeah, also, Carl, I have uninstalled Generation Zero, so sorry. That
Just
might
as
be
much
later.
disrespect as you had for PC too.
But yeah, so it's been a great season. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you those who subscribed and follow. I always appreciate it, no matter what. Yeah, until next time, guys. Until next season. Have a good night.
Hey Nismo, who do I need to bribe to make it LMDH's next league?
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
And they're off. Green flag racing. Matt's getting an amazing start. Ultimate Case actually all catching speed, napping. Matt getting the jump on his teammate down the inside. Necron losing to Cuckoo on the start. Can he pressure Dino into a mistake? Dino goes too wide and extremely close for P1. And is this going to be Jadlin going down the inside? Oh, there's a bit of contact. Oh, that's a spin. And there's another safety car. Oh my god, this carnage.
Jedlin and Kaze are both in the pits. Fennec, Exus, and Dean are all coming in as well. It'll be very tight if he still wants to make it to the back of this pack, but in the meantime, we do have everyone out of the pit, so we're probably going to get going on this next lap. We are, in fact, restarting now, regardless of that incident.
Okay, he's looking for that undercut. Does he get it? It looks like he might do. They're side by side and very close together. Cuckoo looking for that inside line on Jedlin ahead. Going into 130R, but they're going to be wanting to go fully defensive into the chicane of Casio Triangle. He's going to end up finishing in P1, crossing the line. Greenlink's going to cross the line. It's going to be Ultimate K's across the line.
Gilish comes across the line to win his second MSR title.